What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Wednesday, October 20th to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. What a jam-packed show we have for you guys today. Ooh-wee. 2 huge MLB playoff games and a giant game in the Sun Belt. We'll have special guest Nolly Knows rocking with us for those. Then we have 11 games in NBA. We have Trot Wam joining us to break those games down. I went 4-5 down 0.49 units in NHL last night and then got my ass handed to me in the first 2 games of the NBA season. And, that can be okay. You start off the season nervous and angry and uncomfortable. And that maybe helps with an 11-game card staring at us. If I had swept the board yesterday, what do I make? 13 bets in NBA here today. So I'm not, pump the brakes. NBA is very, very difficult. And last year was the first year where I didn't beat it over the full season in front of you guys. And so it's okay. It's not the end of the world. It was embarrassing, but it's not the end of the world. And, put too much faith in old Braun, who looked old out there. That team looked old. But we have a lot of games to break down, and we'll talk more about that. Thank you guys so much for joining us. This is a fun time of year. Sammy Culmer in the house. There's Wolfie ready to get to work. Cab ready to go. Like it, it's important in the house. Real Deal Prime. I just wanted to downplay my comments about the Buffalo Sabres. Man, Real Deal Prime, you've been killing it. You were absolutely right. Look, I don't know why I trusted the Vancouver Canucks. I think they're a bad hockey team. And what the Sabres are doing has surprised me. And a little knock-knock joke for Real Deal Prime. I like that. I like it. Oh, God. Eric Rosas in the house says, good day yesterday, over 10, over 2.5 home runs. Altuve homer plus 350. Schwarber homer plus 375. Duran over 30.5. Giannis over 1.5 blocks. Ooh-wee. And now he's taking Cat over 1.5 blocks. I can't wait to talk about that big NBA card. There's our guy, Matty Ice Star, the taint play of the day. David Summers, who's just crushing the books right now in NCAA football. Keep an eye on everything that he does. TJ says Holtby came through. Holtby sure did come through. I don't know why he took last year off when the Canucks needed him. We will talk about hockey. We're going to close with hockey. So I'm not going to do a quick review here. Von Polo says, I love the Warriors. I hope other people took the money line when I dropped it in the chat. That was a great job. Very, very, very nice job. Henry Dice says Vegas or Blues. I haven't moved on that game, and I'm pretty hesitant to. Dealing with the Knights' injuries and stuff. We'll break down the market here. I don't have too much. I think the Blues are going to be a good team, but those first 2 games were against very weak competition, so we can decide how we're going to move on that. Eric Rosas talking about the Browns' injuries. Yes, I'm on the Broncos plus 3.5, which is not something I would like to do. Here's Ick Schnizzle, Ohio's finest, says, what's good to me? Baker out for my Brownies. So Mayfield out now. What has that done to the market? He can't be out. How could he be out? Wouldn't there be a huge market move? Is this? Are you just giving us this information now? Is this? I did not hear about this information while I spent hours upon hours capping for this show. Let's just see this here. Out? Yes, 11 minutes ago. Jesus, look at that. We have Ick Schnizzle giving us the most recent information. Out. Will not play Thursday. Case Keenum. Wow. Because he said yesterday he was going to play, but ruled out. Wow, that's huge, huge, huge news. Jose saying it was announced today. Man, while I was knee-deep in basketball, wow, that's huge, huge move. So this must be off the board then. No, it's still on the board. No, it's off the board. Okay, that makes sense. Wow, Ick Schnizzle dropping haymakers here right at the top of the show. Rem Moses on the Blues Knights over 5.5. Rem, I thought both of those over 5.5s were juiced for good reason, but I bet the Bruins Flyers over. There's Razor Sharp Picks in the house. We'll have his big horse racing show tonight, which I plan to be a part of. at least for the last 4 or 5 races at Remington. Okay, we've got a lot of work to do. Slats back-to-back 3-1 days in the NHL, only one play day. Blues Vegas over 5.5. So there's another over 5.5. I'm surprised that this is the over that everyone likes rather than the Philly Boston over. I just have a vividness bias of very tightly played games between these two teams. But we have lots of work to do. Okay. Lots of work to do. Thank you guys all for joining us. There's Johnny Schwartz. We haven't seen you in too long, Schwartzy. Baby in the house. All right, J.A. North Ender. Great to see you, North Ender. 3-0 all plus money. Beautiful work. Beautiful work. Razor says, I heard Trot Wam might not show up, still suffering from the Lakers loss. I don't know who suffered more, Laker fans or those idiots that bet on the Lakers like myself. Rodney Barton says, hope it's a great day. Yes, I hope it is. Wow, look at that. Case Keenum in. Ugly. Yes, Jose Wham will be joining us for NBA. If you could send him the link. Sorry, I didn't hook that up for you. There's Birdie the day after his birthday. Thank you for joining us, Birdie. Okay, we have a ton of work to do. We have a beautiful, beautiful card. 2 MLB playoff games, huge game in the Sun Belt, 11 NBA games, and then 2 NHL games. I mean, this is heaven. Let's get right to work and bring on our special guest. He's been rolling with us on Wednesdays and Fridays. He's also been dropping dimes on our Sunday NFL show. By the way, I track everything very closely. On our NFL show on Sunday, Nolly's done 3 appearances. He's given out 3 unders on each appearance, and he's gone 2-1 and every single day. So 6-3 overall in those unders. Please welcome to the show, Long Beach's finest, Nolly Knows in the house. Nolly, what's happening?
What's going on, Jimmy? What's going on, chat? Happy to be here once again. Thank you for having me. And like you said, it's an exciting time to be a bettor. We got college basketball right around the corner. A lot of things to bet on, and MLB playoffs, the best, baby. Let's get to it.
First off, we have to know.
Oh yeah,
what was the 8th inning like for you, and how are you feeling about this team that just never seems to say die?
Oh, you know what? That I had to pay $300 for that win there, taking a live under, but I was taking it. I was gladly. I was sitting here with my buddy. I was like, I'll pay that $300 for this home run right now. That amazing game. It's been an amazing series. I have a lot of Braves friends that are Braves fans, and so we're going back and forth. We've been sending messages back and forth. They started sending brooms already, and a little too early, guys. But hey, I love it. I love to see it. I love it all. I bring it all. Bellinger hitting that home run, really compact swing, a lot of completely different to what he normally does. It was amazing, man. Like I said, it's been a great series, and I look forward to more.
It's absolutely incredible. Guy hits 178 through the regular season and changes his swing right in the nick of time for the Dodgers. Leave it to Dennis Garcia to try to wipe the smile off your face. Atlanta in 5, says Dennis Garcia. All right, Raised Star Pick says Dodgers got lucky there, done for. All right, let's get to work right now. Nolly Knows joining us. Thank you guys all so much for being here. What a great time to be alive, capping sports. I love this card. We start in MLB, 5:08 p.m. Eastern, and I now, much like some of the pitchers we are going to see today, have not been making moves of late in the playoffs. I still haven't moved. It's almost a week now since I made an MLB playoff bet. I'm 5-3 in the playoffs, and I'm still 358 and 324 on the season. Maybe Jose will throw up my record, so I don't need to say it, but down 3.77 units on the season right now, and close to 700 bets in, but none for a while. Let's see if that changes right here. ALCS Game 5, series tied 2-2. Astros 95 and 67, 44 and 37 on the road. Red Sox 92 and 70, 49 and 32 at home. I also don't know what Jose's say-hey play of the day is. So I don't know. Is it in this game, Jose? Are you involved in this game?
I'm still just so fucking angry from last night, Jimmy, that I haven't even considered it. But
you know, 2 different worlds here from Nolly and Jose.
Well, yeah. Nolly's fucking sitting there with a big fucking smile on his face, happy. He has fucking umpires that know what the fuck the strike zone is. But fucking Laz Diaz, one of the worst umpires in baseball, gets fucking the best jobs, and the fix is in. The fucking Red Sox get the shittiest umpire in baseball. So good fucking stuff.
Oh God! You know, the angrier he gets, for whatever reason, the more joy I get out of it. I don't know what it is. I can't fully explain it. 68 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 5 miles per hour, sideways, slightly out to right. Fenway Park, Boston, Massachusetts. We have Framber Valdez going up against Chris Sale. We saw this very matchup in the last game that I bet. So that was the last game I bet. I took a run in the first inning. With these two guys on the bump, that scored. I also took the first 5 over 4.5. That didn't cash. It ended at 4, but it should have. And then the full game ended up going over. Valdez in the postseason, his career 3-1, 4.80 ERA, 1.71 WHIP. Not really to be trusted. He didn't look very good in his first start, game 1 of the ALCS. 2 2/3, 6 hits, 3 runs, 2 of which were earned, 1 homer, 3 walks, 2 Ks, and a 5-4 win. He was better on the road all season long. 6-4, 2.88 ERA, 221 opponent's batting average, going up against Chris Sale, who, I don't know, he bent but didn't break. I guess that's the nicest thing to say about him. 2 2/3, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 2 Ks. Throughout the season, righties got to him, but Baker didn't change the lineup. And I guess why put all these righties together when Sale could be out after 2 or 3 innings, and then then you're easier to pitch against. So I guess I do understand, because righties this year were hitting 291, 824 OPS against him. His postseason record's still bad, 9.07 ERA, 1.90 WHIP. At home, he was very good this year. 5-0, 2.48 ERA, 270 opponent's batting average. And in that first game, he was on the road where he was not as good. So both teams are smashing lefties for the last couple months, especially the Astros, and both bullpens have been middling. All right, let's take it away. Nolly Knows. Here we go. Let me set you up with the market, and then let's go into the cash flow. First, let's do the market. The Red Sox open up at -120. They're now -121. So no movement there. This total opening up at 9.5. Juice to the over. It's now 9.5. Juice to the under. I'll bring up the cash flow right now, but let's hear Nolly Knows his take on this spot here. Astros Red Sox.
Yeah, crazy game yesterday. I mean, I can't deny what Jose mentioned there, with 21 strikes or balls missed yesterday, the most in the postseason. And yeah, it's pretty bad. Some of these calls were pretty awful, pretty far off the plate. So I can understand his frustration. I don't know about the fix, but yeah, the umpiring was pretty bad. Here, 2 guys that you mentioned, guys that have been struggling as of late. Something that you see with Framber Valdez the last time out, gave up 3 walks in just 2 2/3, which is a big issue. His command was the issue in that outing. But I've also seen him have some success against this against this Boston lineup. He faced them in back-to-back starts and was able to pitch extremely well, once at home and then once on the road, going 7 innings in both, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 10 strikeouts, 2 walks the first time, 8 strikeouts, 0 walks the second time. So I think he has the potential of coming up big in the game, but hey, this is a bigger moment. Is he going to be ready to handle that? I'm not sure, and that's what I keep going back and forth with. I'm hoping to make a decision here as we talk it out. Chris Sale, I've seen some adjustments from him. Yeah, it didn't look that great with the 5 innings, 5 hits in that short outing, but he's talking about how he's feeling a lot better. He's made some changes, trying to feel more upright in his command on the mound, trying to deliver and not fly open in his front hip. So I think he's made some adjustments. He's been putting in a lot of work, but now it's about translating it on the field, and is he capable of doing that? This is a big moment. And is he capable of? He's pitched in big moments before. He's been putting in a lot of work in the bullpen, something that he's never really had to do in his career because he's just had the stuff. But now he's working on mechanics. He's fine-tuning some stuff. He talks about the changeup finally coming through for him in the last outing. He was able to locate it, able to throw it, get exactly what he wanted out of it. That's a big thing for him. Core exudes a lot of confidence in Chris Sale. The whole team does. So he feels like he's got his team on his back. So in this rare occasion, it's tough for me to sit here and try to back Chris Sale, but I'm thinking that he's going to have a decent outing here. The guy's been putting in the work. I love to see that. the guys are saying that they see the good improvement, so maybe he puts it together here. The one thing that I see, though, is this trend to the over. This American League, since the last series in the ALDS, the overs are 10-2. It's been crazy. It's just auto bet, really. I've been sitting here betting some quietly, but full game, because eventually these bullpens will tire out. You saw the Astros yesterday went to their bullpen quickly once again. This is in each game. The first game, all they got was 2 2/3. Then they get 1 inning pitch. Then they get 1 1/3 and 1 1/3 from their starters. That's not going to get it done. Eventually, these guys are going to break. Christian Javier came up clutch yesterday. So if Valdez doesn't go deep, Houston can be in trouble. But I'm actually in this spot, being on the road. You mentioned it. He's a little bit better on the road. I'm thinking he has a decent start. I'm not going to be crazy going full game under, but I'm leaning towards that first 5 under. Call me crazy, but I'm thinking that these guys actually pitched decent today.
5.5. It's a 5.5. So a nice high total. Very interesting. We also have Ron Crawford's spreadsheet play of the day. Dodgers -1 pushed yesterday, and he, with no fear, is backing Jose Bouquet's Boston Red Sox for the spreadsheet play of the day.
You know what's going to happen, Jim? Jim, you know what's going to happen, goddammit? The Red Sox are going to win tonight. Red Sox are winning tonight. Nolly, I like your under. Guess what, Jimmy? Say, hey, play of the day. Red Sox money line. I don't know the line. I don't care what the line is. Red Sox win today. They go up 3-2, and I'm going to be there in Houston when they win the series and go to the World Series and cash my futures bets.
Wow, that sounds like there was a lot of analysis that went into that bet there. Wow, Pinnacle just moved to 5. So did Jesus. If you want this first 5 under 5.5, bet it now. Pinnacle moved it to 5 18 minutes ago. I don't know if I'm going to get a chance to bet that 5. Jose is in on the now. Look, Jose is a winning capper on this show, so I'm not going to take any shots if I think this is a heartfelt, emotional bet with little analysis taken in. He's a winning capper, and he deserves the benefit of the doubt. Pinnacle hanging the Red Sox at -121. So Jose's say hey play of the day is Red Sox -121. Dennis Garcia says just Boston money line, Jose. No, let's leave. Let's not amp this guy up, man. Let's keep him backstage for now. Let's keep him rested and comfortable backstage. Let's do that. And okay, and Jose's coming back for hockey too. Great. Get to hear that Canadian impression again, which is a treat. Astros first half +0.5 is the pimp slap play of the day. Razor Sharp Pick says, is he a capper or a fan? I don't think much capping went into this game. I love the 5.5 as a number for the first 5. I think they're giving the opportunity for gamblers to reach for that first 5 under. I do. Piker in the house says, Framburn sale definitely speaks to an over, but I'm afraid to look. Probably 10.5, he says. The full game total right now is 9.5. And juice to the under is dropping. There's Deacon Mike in the house. Great to see you, Deacon Mike. Cap a lot pops. Yes, I got crushed in NBA. Was just slightly by the 0.49 units down in NHL. Dan Kelly can get the Red Sox -4.5 at +450. Wants to know what Jose thinks about that. Okay, I get it. If I could I get it. Let's just dive in a little bit deeper with the analysis here. So basically, you probably don't want the righties seeing Sale twice. Is that fair to say, or do you have confidence that Sale can go through Bregman and Altuve twice? Correa, by the way, only 6 for 27 against them, so Correa is not a righty that worries him. But Brantley is batting third in this lineup, or second or fourth, and he's 8 for 43 against them. Do you think Sale goes 5 innings here, Nolly?
That's hard to say, but I think at least 4. It all depends on what kind of matchup Cora sees at that moment. Something that he mentioned last time. He said, I think that he still had some left, but at that moment, the matchup he felt was right to go to his bullpen, and that's what it all depends on. What I like with Sale was big in that last outing was the command of his changeup, and he uses the changeup quite a bit against the righties, and that's what I like to see. If he's able to command that pitch, it makes him a lot deadlier, and that's what I like to see. He's putting in the work. Guys are saying the right things around him, saying that he's looking good and he's getting better. And I'm going to be trusting these numbers here because I believe it's a little inflated. We get a little value there. A lot of these full games have been going over, but not all the first 5s.
Cab says first 5 under again, just like last night. I get it. If there's a 5.5 available, I can understand moving on it. It's hard to trust Framber Valdez from what we've seen from him. Now, I went back into the regular season. It was just that one bad start before the playoffs started. So it's not like he had a bad September. He had a really good September. He had one bad start in October, and then he's come in and not looked good in 2 starts in the playoffs. They were both at home. So this is his first road appearance where he's been better all year.
Yeah, the thing I wanted to focus on when I was looking at some of the stats, like regular season wise, was the back-to-backs. And so the back-to-backs that he had was with Boston that I had mentioned, pitched 2 great outings, and then the other was with the Angels. So at home versus the Angels, he gets hit, gives up 6 hits, 5 runs, 4 of them earned. But then the very next outing goes on the road to the Angels, throws 7 innings pitched, 6 hits, 0 earned runs, 6 strikeouts, 3 walks. So I expect him to be able to respond here on the road. I understand that this is a different moment. This is a bigger moment, and it really, like I mentioned last time, does he have the coconuts? And that's what it comes down to. And I think that he'll be able to pitch solid enough for us with that 5.5. That thing is too high.
I'm convinced. I'm interested in that 5.5. If I can get it, I'm interested in it. Big shout out to Arthur Mead Jr. What a great guy. He says, thank you, Pub Sports, for a great show with Jimmy the Bag. Nolly Knows, Jose Maxwell Smart, Peter Loshak, the rest of the Pub Sports crew with a $5 donation. Thank you so much for thinking about us, caring about us, and supporting us, Arthur Mead Jr. It means so much to us, my man. I like it. There's a Twate Latte says, success is less important than the amount of times faced. Success will eventually come. This is why managers won't let starters see a lineup a third time. Piker says Sale's pitch selection was goofy last game, setting up breaking balls. He never threw 97 miles per hour on the corner, called strike, follows it with 97 again over the heart. Bad pitch calling. Great to see Twate Latte in the house. There's my guy, Mally Mal, rolling with us. Okay, so with all that being said, I guess I agree. I agree with the 5.5. I don't know if it'll be available for me, but I agree with that. I do feel like it's a bit of a coin flip, but I don't know what to do with Sale still. I did not love that start by any means. I mean, he had the bases loaded in that first inning and got out of it. Castale says, do you guys think Coastal -3 first half is a good bet? I can't wait to talk about that game. It's coming up here shortly. It's going to be right after baseball. So let's go into the next game here, 8:08 p.m. Eastern, NLCS game 4, Atlanta leading the series 2-1. Braves 88-73, 46-35 on the road during the regular season. We're at Chavez Ravine, where the Dodgers were 58-23 at home. 70 Fahrenheit clear, 7 miles per hour out to right. Now, this wasn't on the board earlier as we weren't sure who is pitching for the Braves. Is it confirmed that it is Huascar Ynoa? Do we know, Nolly?
Yeah, I've been trying to figure that out myself. I haven't got confirmation of that. I was assuming that they would go with an opener before him.
And Cab locked it at -3. That's very, very, very possible. That's very, very possible that Huascar Ynoa is after an opener. Huascar Ynoa did not look good in his one appearance in Game 4 versus Milwaukee. 1 inning, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, homer, 1 walk, 2 Ks, and 5-4 win. In his postseason career, he's thrown just 5 innings, and in 2020, he didn't allow a run in 4 innings. So these runs came in that Game 4 versus Milwaukee. Going up against Urias. So Urias came in Game 2 at Atlanta and blew a save. 1 inning, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 Ks in a 5-4 loss. He looked very good in the series, with both in the Giants series, both his starts in San Francisco, and 9 innings combined, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, and 10 Ks. And the Braves did not hit lefties in September and October. 207 with a 604 OPS in the last 5-6 weeks of the season. And the Dodgers feel like their bats are starting to heat up. I know they're dealing with a ton of injuries, but if Bellinger can get hot, who knows? All right, let's go to the – oh, by the way, sorry, I didn't share the cash flow, my fault, in that Houston-Boston game. It's so important. So you guys know that 58% of the tickets are on the Red Sox and 81% of the cash. So big bets coming in on the Red Sox here and backing Sale. And then 31% of the tickets on the under, and just like yesterday, 77% of tickets on the under. When we get to this Atlanta Dodgers spot, 2,786 tickets in, 77% of tickets on the Dodgers, 92% of cash on those Dodgers, 76% of tickets on the under, 84% cash on the under. Nolly Knows, did everything in this series change? And will the Dodgers ride the momentum into the World Series?
I think it did change a lot. That's a big moment. This team gets hot. Hits are contagious for any team, and they can be scary. You got Mookie Betts, one of the best players in baseball. He's hot right now, and he keeps stealing bases, and that's dangerous out there. And now you got a Braves team that's going to throw out their bullpen. That's going to be tough for them going against a really good pitcher in Urias. I think that the series did change with one swing of the bat. It's crazy to say.
So are you going to back them here in Game 2? This total at 8, there's been a 3-cent move to the under. It was originally juiced to the over. And the Dodgers are big favorites. They're opening up at minus 205 at Pinnacle. They're now minus 211.
Yeah, me personally, I love seeing that minus 200 next to the Dodgers name. We've seen it all year long. They've been very profitable. Shout out to my guy Ski. But here, Braves – it's going to be tough. Julio Urias has pitched very well against them. In 42 at-bats, the Braves only have 2 extra base hits. Those are 2 solo home runs in August, and really nothing else. He's given up a 165 batting average, 228 slugging against these Braves. Last year, he was able to hold them down in the playoffs, faced them once as a starter, 5 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 3 innings, 0 runs as out of the bullpen. I mean, he did give up a few hits the last time out. I thought Roberts got a little too cute in that situation. I wanted to see Julio start 2 different games, not come out of the bullpen and then start 1. I just really didn't like that call. But hey, what do I know? He talks about it. Robert says, we might do some things that guys don't understand, but we don't give you all the information. So I understand you don't understand based on the information I've given you, but you don't know it all. And maybe they know something. I don't know. But I expect Julio to come up big. Mookie talks about him, how he's just so calm, cool, and collected out there. And he just every moment is just the same to him. Julio talked about it in his interviews. He talked about how it's just another game and we're going to go out there and compete. Dave Roberts said that they're going to let him run today. If he's going to be pitching well, they're going to let him go. And I expect him to pitch well. He loves pitching at home. He's done it. He's done it time and time again. And yeah, the Dodgers did use 8 different relievers, but you look, Alex Vesia threw 1 pitch to Freeman, and they didn't use two big guys in Trennan and Gatterall. Those 2 late inning guys. So if Julio does end up giving 6 or 7 innings, the Dodgers are in really good shape to win the game. On the other side for the Braves, I expected I expected them to open up with Minter. They did it last year at Game 5. He was successful through 3 innings, didn't give up a single run, and I expected Yanoa to come in after him. But what are we going to get out of Yanoa? It hasn't been the same pitcher after he decided to punch a wall and broke his hand, and hasn't been nearly the same. And they used him a little bit out of the bullpen. He got touched up, gave up a home run against the Brewers, so they've kind of been hiding him. So how are they going to decide to use him? It's tough. It's tough. I don't know. I think he gets a couple innings. Then the main thing they want to get to is Matzik, Jackson, and then Smith. You know, it's crazy to see Matzik and Jackson have pitched in every single postseason game this year for the Braves in all 7 games. So, I mean, are these guys eventually going to tire out? I'm hoping, that's what I see. But Jackson, he does give up that home run to Bellinger, but that was the first home run he had given up to a left-handed batter all season long. So the guys, Jackson, I expect him to continue to be strong, but can the Dodgers get to Matzik? They have in the past, and Smith, he's been used quite a bit, especially down the stretch. They used him quite a bit. They leaned on him. He's a big game pitcher. But I think this is a tough spot for the Braves, having to use their bullpen. I think they might be able to hold the Dodgers down for a few innings, but I don't think for the full 5. And I think that's where I want to focus here in this game. I think there's an advantage to the Dodgers in the first 5 innings because of Julio Urias. He's a big-time pitcher. He's been here time and time again. Like Dave Roberts mentioned, he's not a kid anymore. He's a man. And they talked about how he made the decision of where he was going to pitch. Was it going to be Game 4 or Game 5? He wants the ball here Game 4, and I expect him to pitch well. I'm looking towards the Dodgers here. I might lay the half. I haven't made a move. I haven't made a move in either one of these, but I'm going to be taking that first 5 under for the Red Sox game. And here for the Dodgers, I think I'll be looking for the first 5 because I believe, like I mentioned, the advantage with Julio.
It's tricky, even with the -0.5 right now at Bodog. It's not up in many books, but first 5 -0.5 still -145. If you want to take them -1, you can get almost even money. But I understand the look here. I definitely understand the look. We're going to have to wait. Don't worry, Von Polo. We're moving on now. We're going to have to wait here. They're 2 huge games, though, Von Polo. Huge games.
One thing that I forgot to mention here, similar to yesterday, a big reason why I took that live bet was the shadows. It was a 5 p.m. start again. There will be shadows once again. So that kind of leans me towards the under, but I think I'm done betting these unders with these guys right now. For right now.
Very, very exciting spot here in Chavez Ravine. 2-1 series lead for Atlanta. I can understand the Dodgers. I can understand the Dodgers early, but still at this point, it's just might be a little bit too juiced. This total at 8. I hear you not mentioning it. We've seen these bullpens quite a bit. And do you think this is vulnerable to go over?
Yeah, I'm starting to lean towards the over the later we go into these series, especially both of these teams kind of never say die, so you've seen it time and time again. They'll respond. But the only thing, like maybe early under, I was leaning towards that first 5. I didn't take it. I don't think I'm going to, just because the shadows will give you a better chance at that. But yeah, I don't think I'm going to do it today.
All right, a first 5 under 5.5 for Nolly on this Astros Red Sox. I would like that too if it's available for me in a little bit. Huge amount of cash on the Red Sox right now. The spreadsheet play of the day is on the Red Sox. We also have the Taint play of the day in. It's in the basketball game that we'll talk about when we have Trot Wam joining us. So Taint play of the day is in. All right, I'm interested in the full game over 8. I think we can get there. I think we can get to that full game over 8. And the Dodgers first half -0.5 is just probably a little too expensive for me. But I have some interest in the over 8. There is your 2 MLB playoff games. We move on to this giant game in the Sun Belt, and then we'll break down all 11 games on the NBA card. 7:30 p.m. Eastern, we have number 14th ranked Coastal Carolina, 6-0, 2-0 in the Sun Belt at App State, 4-2, 1-1 in the Sun Belt. We're at Kidd Brewer Stadium in Boone, North Carolina. Gorgeous weather tonight, 59 Fahrenheit, sunny, 2 miles per hour. Okay, let's move into the odds here in this spot. We've already had Cab say he got on Coastal Carolina at 3. It opened at Pinnacle at 3.5. It is now at 5.5 at most books. Will Hill hanging a 5 and Bodog hanging a 6. This total is sitting here at, pull this up. This total is opened up at 59, now up to 61.5 at some books. So an expectation of offense, and understandably so. But here is the market on the spread. 87% of the tickets on Coastal Carolina, public play, but just 77% of the cash. So some big bets coming on App State. Then you have 29% of tickets on the under, but 68% of cash on the under. So big bets also coming in on the under. And as it is a standalone Sunbelt game, you can imagine that the over will get bet. So App State, Coastal Carolina have combined to win the last 5 Sunbelt Conference championships. This is a huge game. Coastal Carolina beat App State for the first time last season, 34-23 at home. Coastal Carolina's won 7 straight games on the road, but has never won at Kid Brewer Stadium. They're 0-5 in the school's history, and they come in off their bye week. I mean, it just sets up perfectly for Coastal Carolina. Ever since that underwhelming 28-25 victory at Buffalo, they've been destroying their opponents. They won 53-3 at home to lowly Massachusetts, the 36-point favorites. They beat UL Monroe 59-6 at home as 33.5-point favorites. Then just before the bye, they went into Arkansas State and beat them 52-20 as 20-point favorites. Grayson McCall has been excellent. 1,478 yards passing, 14 touchdowns, 1 interception, and against Arkansas State, 365 yards, 4 touchdowns. Javon Hiley is an excellent wide receiver, averaging over 19 yards a catch, 95.5 receiving yards a game. And they have a tight end, Isaiah Likely, who's very dangerous, averaging 85.5 yards per game and just a red zone threat all the time, 8 touchdown receptions. App State had their 3-game winning streak snapped in ugly fashion when they lost badly, 41-13 at Louisiana as 4-point favorites. They turned the ball over 4 times. They managed just 211 yards of offense. They only had the ball for 23-28 of that game. And App State, we know what they can do. They can run the ball down your throat. I mean, we thought Cameron Peoples was such a beast, and he is, but Nate Noel has taken over as the number 1 back, the RB1 for this App State team. But Chase Bryce is just not to be trusted. He's not to be trusted. Now, it's going to help him being at home with the backing of the big crowd, but he was terrible versus Louisiana, 15-26 for 133 yards, 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. In his career, he's thrown 27 touchdowns and 24 interceptions. Didn't cut it at Clemson. Looked terrible last year at Duke, 10 touchdowns, 15 picks. And now he's at App State with 8 touchdowns and 5 picks. So we know how much home field advantage is in the Sun Belt, but Coastal Carolina is a very good football team. Nolly Knows, take it away, Coastal Carolina, App State.
Yeah, you mentioned it, Jim. These two teams, really the battle for the Sun Belt here. App State trying to prove that they're still the top dog, even though they got pretty smashed on last week. You know, yeah, you mentioned Cameron Peoples, that Noel's taking over for him, but they were really missing him. They've been missing him the last 2 weeks, and they're really going to need him against this Coastal Carolina team. It's an undisclosed injury. Not sure what it is, but I'm not sure if we see him tonight, because even off the bye going into Louisiana Lafayette last week, he still didn't come back. So I think that's a big issue, because Cameron Peoples, he went off against Coastal Carolina last year. He had 19 rushes for 162 yards in the first half. The guy just went off, but what I did see with Coastal Carolina in that game, they were able to adjust, held them to 9 rushes and 17 yards in the second half. And that's the big thing here with Appalachian State, is defending the run. If you can slow down the run, it's going to make it very difficult for Chase Bryce, because I don't think he fits the offense the way Zach Thomas did. Zach Thomas was a little bit more mobile, another threat that the defense had to account for, and Chase just doesn't have it. I do believe one of the interceptions he threw was not his fault, but the other 2 were clearly his fault. Terrible decision trying to pitch the ball back when he was getting sacked, caused the fumble. And you see it under pressure, it's going to be a problem. And last year you saw they had trouble defending, blocking Jeffrey Gunter for Coastal Carolina. They've got some decent linebackers over there, and I think they might have some Appalachian State might have some trouble defending them. But what I did see with Coastal Carolina against Buffalo, they did give up some rushing yards early, and maybe they find some ways to get some first downs. but I don't think they'll be that successful. I do believe in this Coastal Carolina defense. I think they are pretty good. Excuse me. I think they're pretty good. They're 8th in the nation in team pass efficiency. So I expect Chase Bryce to struggle here once again. You look at him, he's 48th in the nation in pass efficiency compared to Grayson McCall, number 1 in pass efficiency, number 1 in completion percentage. He's 3rd in pass yards per completion. He's 17th in points responsible for per game at 17. On the other side, Chase Bryce only responsible for 11 per game. So quite a difference in quarterback play. And in being in such a tight game, that's going to be the big difference maker here. For Coastal Carolina, you look at their offense, the way that they run it. Buffalo's coach kind of talked about their offense. They called it a triple threat with the throwing attack. And that's kind of what they are. They run the ball first. That's what they have. That's what they have to do. They average over 7 yards a carry, over 260 yards rushing per game. And so it's very important because that's what establishes the play action for Grayson McCall. You look at their passing attempts, 48% of their passes come off the play action. That's a big thing for them. And what I look at last game for Appalachian State against Louisiana Lafayette, they struggled against that play action early against Lewis. And Lewis, a guy that's 65th in pass efficiency compared to number 1 in Grayson McCall. So ultimately, yeah, the numbers are sitting here screaming Coastal Carolina, but Boone, North Carolina is a tough place to play. And I think when you talk about the running attack and the type of attack that Coastal Carolina deploys, you need good linebacker play. And that's what Appalachian State has. DeMarco Jackson, number 52, he's an incredible linebacker over there, and he's going to be a big part of what they do over there. They're 27th in the nation in third down conversion allowed at 33%. And I think Appalachian State, what happened last week is not really indicative of what they are. They are a much better football team. They're not going to allow as many rushing yards, I believe. So in this game, being that it's such a big game and seeing what happened last year, you look at the total last year, it was 34-23, but there was a pick 6 with a minute left that inflated that. It was a much closer game, and that was at Coastal Carolina. Here in Boone. It's going to be a little bit tougher, but Coastal Carolina does seem to be a little bit better. I'm not going on the side here. I was leaning towards Coastal Carolina, but to me, I believe in these defenses, and I believe the magnitude of this game is going to lead me towards the under because the number just went a little too high. 61.5. I don't see that. I'm seeing more like 54. So I bid on the under.
And it looks like it could keep going up at this point. It's unclear, but it moved to 61.5 yesterday at 8:31 p.m. And since then, it's stuck there. But the under 61.5 at Pinnacle was minus 114. It's now minus 110. So they've taken the juice off of that. I agree with that. And I also think, App State, because of quarterback play, was better last year than they are this year. Do you agree with that? Even though their running game might be better and their spots on their defense that are better, but overall,
yeah, I definitely think so. But right now they're dealing with injuries because even Nate Noel's got a toenail or a pinky toe that he's nursing.
I like the under. I think that the best thing to still probably wait. Big Joe Betts looking at the Coastal team total over. We've seen what home field advantage can do in the Sun Belt, and you make a good point of that game last year at Coastal Carolina, that 34-23 game. It was a great game. The fear I have is that Coastal Carolina has never won at Kid Brewer, and now they're coming in off their bye. It's so much motivation. It's the perfect motivation for them.
Without a doubt. And if you look at their schedule, like this is the game. There's no other game. Their next toughest opponent is going to be Troy. They're really going to run through everybody else. Their opponents have been pretty weak this year. So that's the thing that when I look at their totals and their offensive output against much lesser opponents, it wasn't against teams like this. And so I expect I expect Appalachian State to respond. They got punched in the face.
Yeah, they got embarrassed, and it felt like they were looking ahead to this giant game. Well, I'd be interested. Pinnacle just moved it 1 minute ago. Pinnacle moved it from 5.5 to 4.5. Yeah, I get it. I love that Cab got it at 3. I get it, getting it under a field goal. But when it gets too high, I feel like the home dog will have some life here, and that's why it just went down a percentage. But that's why there's just 13% of tickets on App State, but 22% of the cash. I'm interested in the under, and I actually have some interest in App State, but I'm going to want 6, and I don't know if I'll get that. Who's Knock says, who has App State beat? I mean, if we're going to go that route, and I'll pull it up right now, but if we're going to go that route, Coastal Carolina's had 3 very, very easy victories in a row, and that hurts. That hurts them. But let's move over to this spot right now quickly, and we'll just give you who they've beat. Sorry, here we go. And then we'll move on to NBA with Trot Wam. App State beat Georgia State 45-16, beat Marshall 31-30. Barely lost at Miami by 2 points, 25-23. I mean, that was a nice performance. I wish that Coastal Carolina wasn't coming in off this bye, but that doesn't always help college teams. I mean, it doesn't always help CFL teams. When you're getting paid enormous amounts of money to be a professional athlete, the bye will help, and it's easy to stay focused when you're getting that kind of cash. But when you're in college and when you're in the CFL and you're not getting paid very much, it's almost a danger. In the CFL especially, teams come out so slowly after a bye. I think this is very, very, very interesting. And I like your look, Nolly, here on the under. Have you moved on it yet, or are you waiting still?
No, I moved on it. I see what you're saying, and that's kind of a theory of mine as well. These single games in the middle of the week, they do tend to go up, but 61.5 was enough for me to take it. So I'm already on it. Under
61.5. I like it. I like that look, and I think App State really comes to play. There's Guillermo Zertucci. Now it's great to see you. Luchase Fox says, just because CC has not played anyone good does not mean they are not legit. They are get on board. Look, they're a very good football team. I get it. I mean, that game in Buffalo was very strange. I have interest in App State, but I completely know why Pinnacle just moved it from 5.5 to 4.5. I have a belief that that's probably sharp money on App State. Great stuff from our Nolly Knows. Let's review Nolly's action here in MLBs on the first 5 under 5.5 in Astros Red Sox, and I like that look. Then he's made no move on the Dodgers, but he has interest in the Dodgers first half -0.5, and the under 61.5 in Coastal Carolina, App State. Follow our man Nolly on Twitter at Nolly Knows. Nolly, thank you so much for joining us today. And also, I love what you've done on the NFL Pub Hub show. 3 shows you've been on. You've given out 3 unders in each of the 3 shows, and you've cashed 2 of them in every show. That's impressive. And I've tailed 1 each of the last 2 times you've been on and cashed them both, which is very wonderful. So thank you for that. Nolly, I love you, Bal. Thank you so much for joining us, and can't wait to see you back on the show soon, my man.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me. Thanks to everybody for listening. Hopefully I gave you some advice or some different angle that you weren't thinking about, and hopefully we cash some tickets. Good luck to everybody, man.
There he is. Nolly Knows in the house. What a great group. Sonny Vega, Z, Dina in the house. Great group. Great group. Jennifer says, Nolly Knows, I think the under is the real play because App State is still a formidable opponent, even though Ragin' Cajuns beat them up. That's from Jennifer. I like it. All right, it is time for our first giant NBA card of the year. Giant NBA card of the year. And you know what? I took a slap in the face in the first 2 games of the year last night, and maybe it was good. A wake-up call. Remember how dangerous NBA is. Get your shit together. Don't just think you can waltz in and bring in a little bit of cash real quick. I'm okay with the slap in the face, but I can't have 2 slaps in the face. Let's introduce our expert. I'm so excited to get a chance to share the screen with him again this year. Please welcome to the show, also out of Long Beach, California, Trot Wam in the house. Wham Bam, how are you?
I'm feeling good, bro. Feeling great. Can't complain. Happy to be here with my low bag fam. My guy, Jimmy, you already know, bro. Another year. Let's get to it, bro. Big card today. Big card.
Woo-wee. All right, Wham Bam. Let's get to work. We will start and this is fun. 11 games in the NBA. When you're running well in the NBA, and I have to add that caveat, that when you're running well, I have to add that caveat. It is the most fun sport for me to cap. You really get to know the players and the stories behind them, and you learn about them, and it's extremely enjoyable. Now, it's a dangerous sport, and last year was my first year of losing in the season in publicly, and I really want to bounce back, and I certainly didn't do that last night. Let's get right to work. We start with Indiana Pacers at Charlotte Hornets. Charlotte opened up as 2-point favorites, now just 1-point favorites. This total opened up at 227.5, has dropped 4 points to 223.5. When we go over to the cash flow situation, we have 9,205 tickets in. God, you gotta love NBA. Always huge amount gambled on. We have 51% of the tickets on the Pacers and 79% of the cash. So sharp money, big bets coming in on the Pacers. Then you have 54% of tickets on the over, 54% of cash on the over, and that's difficult to quantify because it's dropped 4 points. No more Nate Bjorkgren, lone season as Pacers coach, gone. 34-38 record, missed the playoffs for the first time in 6 years, and in comes Rick Carlisle, second coaching stint with Indiana. I don't know if we ever see TJ Warren again. I mean, that's it's starting to feel that way with this foot injury. Karis LeVert dealing with stress fracture in his back. He'll be out at least the first 4 regular season games. Then you have Malcolm Brogdon, an ailing shoulder. He's listed as questionable. He says he's good to go. He signed a 2-year, $45 million extension on Monday. Last year, 21.2 points, 5.9 assists, 5.3 boards. We know what Domantas Sabonis can do. He was very, very good last year. 20.3 points, 12 boards, 6.7 assists. Jeremy Lamb, questionable with a wrist injury. Holiday, questionable with an ankle injury. And here come Charlotte. And I'm a little surprised that Charlotte is getting none of the love here. They seem like a team clearly moving in the right direction. LaMelo Ball coming off the NBA Rookie of the Year, 15.7 points, 5.9 rebounds, 6.1 assists, 1.6 steals. You got Terry Rozier signed a 4-year, $97 million contract extension in the offseason, feeling good about himself. He has an ankle injury, but he's listed as probable. Miles Bridges listed as probable with a knee injury. Gordon Hayward is recovering from COVID-19. They bring in Mason Plumlee for a little off-the-bench energy, and he can start. He can do a bunch of different things. Take it away, Wham Bam. First game on our big 11-game slate, Pacers, Hornets.
Yes, like you said, man, it's really going to be the LaMelo show for this Hornets team. They made room for him, got rid of Malik Monk, got rid of the other kid, Devontae Graham, who was shooting up all the threes. So they got a little room for him now. He was averaging 6 assists last year, got Rookie of the Year, was getting everybody involved. A good second guy as far as scoring-wise when you got Gordon Hayward. When they had Gordon Hayward cooking last year, he looked it better than it ever since he was in Utah, in my opinion. That's how good Gordon Hayward looked last year. That's the Gordon Hayward I need to see from the Charlotte Hornets, though, in order for them to win this game. I think the Indiana team getting some love from the Sharps, I think it makes sense, in my opinion, because I think this Brogdon is going to be able to play. Not sure about Lamb, though, because I think that wrist is going to be a little bit problem. Holiday is going to be somebody I'm keeping an eye on, though. I need Holiday in this lineup if you're going to take the Pacers, bro. I don't want to just have to rely on Sabonis and Miles Turner to be the guy down there down front. Plus, you want somebody to stretch the floor like Holiday does. You definitely want him out there. But I think year one for Carlisle is going to be a wash, in my opinion. I think they signed Brogdon to mimic Ben Simmons 4 years extra that he has left on his year to get him off of the package there. That's how I feel about this team. So I'm not really high on the Pacers. I think the Hornets has to be the spot, though, honestly. I just got to see what it is with Gordon Hayward. So this game, probably not going to make a bet. But if I would definitely be looking at props here. I think LaMelo has a little bit extra room. Again, he averaged 6 assists last year. I think he's only going to go up from here. I think the over 6.5 assists for LaMelo is probably the play if I was to make a wager here on this game. But other than that, I think I'm going to watch this game and see what type of team I'm dealing with.
We have a lot of opportunities on this card to bet. And for those of you guys watching, we will track everything that our man Walter Trotter does on this show, as always. And It adds fear and fun and excitement and honesty and transparency. And fear, I say first, just because of what's happening to me in NFL.
Oh no, bro, we're gonna bounce that shit back too.
It's just the roller coaster ride of starting so strong and then falling apart has been very tough for me to sleep at night. Ixnizzle says Sabonis rebound prop is a good look as well. Very interesting. I did not expect, and I'm going to try to stay off totals unless we have a reasonable angle on an under in the first week of the year. I'm going to try to stay off totals, and should have moved earlier on that Nets under. I didn't expect it's funny. The Milwaukee Bucks win NBA championship, and I wish the Raptors had this situation as well. When I look down at my new poster here on the wall. Nice. But it's funny, like when the Lakers win the championship or when a big city wins the championship, they party, they feel so good about themselves. When the Bucks win the championship, they're still like, we don't get any respect. People shitting all over us. And I probably should have used that angle more to my advantage. It was a different situation, and it was impressive. No move right now for Pacers, Hornets. I do kind of like.
I like the under though. Like from what you're saying, I do like the under here. Like when you're breaking it down, like is there a reason to take the under here? I think it is because a lot of these teams are going to be locked down. They're going to be kind of strat at the guard position as far as like what the length they have. For the Pacers, I think Brogdon is going to be a good defensive player. I like the rookie as well, Dorte, for what he does on defense. I like this under, honestly, but it's something that I want to see these teams. It's the only reason why I'm not betting this game because I want to see what the outcome is going to be.
Also, it's dropped 4 points, and that's hard to take the ass end of a line, even though it worked in the Nets game last night. Okay, we will move on from this first one, Pacers, Hornets. Next up for us, Chicago Bulls at Detroit Pistons. Two teams I'm very interested to watch. We're at Little Caesars Arena in Detroit, Michigan. Chicago opening up as 3.5-point favorites. That's already moved to 5 and 5.5. This total opening up at 219.5. It's down to 218 or 218.5. We have 18,990 tickets in. So there's 67% confidence here on the line predictor that the Bulls will be minus 5.5 right across the board. On the spread, 96% of tickets are on the Bulls, 95% cash on the Bulls, 43% of tickets on the under, and 73% of cash on the under. Cade Cunningham, first overall pick, being sidelined through the preseason with an ankle injury, hasn't gone through a full practice this week. Casey has not ruled him out, but you wonder with this big market move if that is the case.
Yeah, he's out.
He's out. Okay, so Troy Weaver, bringing Cunningham in and making a ton of moves to have Hayes, Sadiq Bey, and Isaiah Stewart as the main youth. They have Jeremy Grant as their go-to guy, and then Kelly Olynyk they pick up. Grant, 22.3 points last year a game. He was very good. So the Bulls have Kobe White with a shoulder injury to mid-November, and it's Lonzo Ball's opportunity to take control of this team coming in this year. They also bring in DeMar DeRozan. So you got Vucevic, Levine, and a nice squad with a lot of hope and a lot of energy and a 4-0 preseason record that just adds to all of that. Take it away, Wham, Bulls, Pistons.
Yeah, Kobe White sucks. I think this bench is going to be sucks as well, man. This is a top-heavy team for the Bulls. They got a lot of great players, though. Don't get me wrong. And one of those guys being great is my good old Alex Caruso. Yes, I'm a Laker fan. I've definitely been on the Alex Caruso train. I think he's going to play well, but again, he's not going to shoot that well. So you're not getting any shooters. This team kind of lacks shooters, though, bro, for the Chicago Bulls. Now, I know they did great things in preseason, and that's probably why 90% of the money is coming in on them, which is crazy as hell. And a lot of people like to take them futures for those Bulls teams as well, it seems like. I think that might be biting people back in the ass here for the public-wise. I think Bulls maybe want to wait and see. Even though Cade Cunningham is out for the Pistons, this is still an NBA team. They got Sadiq Bey. I believe he should be playing here, if I'm not mistaken. I know he was out during the preseason. I'm not sure if Sadiq Bey is out or not, but I want to see him in there. They got Josh Jackson kind of revolutionized himself almost like last year. He looked pretty well. And I believe some of these guys that coming from the Olympics won the gold medal. We've seen it time and time after the Olympics. These guys tend to play pretty well in a regular season. I think Jeremy Grant is one of those guys, one of those candidates is somebody that won the Olympics, got the gold medal, and is probably going to play well this year. So I think he's probably going to have a good year. I wouldn't be surprised, if Detroit makes this a cover here. I'm not going to bet this game either, though, because it just seems like it's just too much action on the Bulls for them to be able to pull this out. Even though they should win this game, they have the better team. Don't get me wrong. They have the better team. They got better players. And Levine, Lamar, the ball kid, I'm tripping off his head, Lonzo, and Patrick Williams year 2. I expect him to play really well on the defensive end. So I could see the under here, but I just don't want to have anything to do with betting on this big public favorite right now. It just seems like something I just don't want to start off with on the road as well. It just doesn't seem something I want to do.
I wonder if it actually sort of helps the Pistons in game 1 to not have the whole Cade Cunningham excitement and what's going to happen when he has the ball. He's got to have the ball a lot. Just to not have any of that and to focus here. I wonder if that helps. Of this young core for these Pistons, let's just go with Sadiq Bey, Killian Hayes, and Isaiah Stewart. Who do you have the highest hopes for? Who do you see having a big season this year?
Definitely Killian Hayes is probably not one of those guys. I got to see it first. I like Sadiq Bey for sure. Isaiah Stewart, man, kind of surprised me. People haven't really talked about him enough. He's one of those rookies, bro, last year that definitely showed that he could be a big man in this league. I like him a lot, honestly. That's kind of what I would think. But I think Sadiq Bey is probably my best young player here. And I think Josh Jackson kind of showed himself that he could be a player here. He's almost on his way out of the league pretty much, and I think he's probably saving himself here. And Dwayne Casey, every time I think about that guy, I always remember the time that you gave him the good old finger there, bro. Every time, no question. That story always falls in my head. So I think he's cursed, bro. I think he's cursed too. So they could be in the lottery for sure this year, but this could be a spot for him, bro. And I see Ray Charles saying any shooters. And we're talking about the Bulls, bro. Like, let's be real, bro. Like, do they have shooters on this team? Is it Vucevic their best shooter, or is it Lonzo? Like, who's their best shooter, bro? Who's going to shoot a 3 besides Levine, bro?
The thing is about Casey is I love him. Like, I love him as a guy, right? So my first instinct when he pulled up beside me was to have this huge smile, right? That's why I didn't see it coming. Just because I love him. I was like, and then I realized all the mistakes that he's done and everything changes. Bulls, Pistons, I'm not going to sit here with, a 5-point road favorite, although I could understand if that they can roll, but I can understand why everybody is on the Bulls. Right. Ty Clinton saying over or under. I guess, a clear lean towards the under from Wham Bam. And when we got the cash flow, we have 43% of tickets on the under and 73% of cash on the under. And I get that. And again, we're not using pace numbers or anything. We're not even going to look at last year's pace numbers because the roster changes so drastically for all these teams. Right. So I guess I have a slight lean to the under. I certainly don't plan on betting it after the show. I will study it a little bit more. And Dennis Garcia says, Jimmy need to explain the Raps over wins. I don't get it. I didn't bet it, Dennis, and we'll talk about it with the Raptors. I agree. With some of the issues that the team is facing, I don't see how they get out of the gate strong, but we'll get into that. All right, so there we go. Next up for us, and no official picks yet on this show, 7:30 p.m. Boston Celtics at New York Knicks. We're at Madison Square Garden in New York. God, this is going to be a fun game. The Knicks open up as 1.5-point favorites. That's moved to 2 at Bet365 and Pinnacle, and this total opening up at 216 is now at 216.5. From a cash flow side of things, 7,767 tickets in. 35% of tickets on the Wizards and 62% of cash on this Wizards team. Then you have 33% of tickets and 89% of cash on the under. And I know that that's been a common theme in these first couple games, but that is not the case on the whole NBA card that all the money's on the under. It's just a few of these games early. So let's go Wham Bam. Udoka making his NBA head coaching debut with the Celtics. It's going to be fun. So Danny Ainge retired. Brad Stevens is now the president of basketball operations, and Udoka we get to see coach. Kemba Walker, Evan Fournier, Tristan Thompson, all gone. Al Horford and Jaylen Brown both on the COVID list. Brown is questionable and Horford is out. Al Horford acquired for Walker, and I don't know what he's going to give you. They bring back Enes Kanter, and his stats are so tricky to understand because he can be so poor defensively. And then we come to the Knicks. Thibodeau coming off Coach of the Year honors. All top 5 scorers return. Not only that, but they bring in Fournier. They bring in Walker, who's, New York born and raised. And Noel doubtful to play Wednesday versus Boston. It seems like it's possible. Is it possible to say these are 2 teams moving in opposite directions?
Guarantee. Glad you said it first.
So at this point here, is this a chance for the Knicks to get off to a really good start? Or do you think that there'll be some chemistry issues bringing in these new players that are very offensive-minded guys?
So my thought process here for the Knicks, I think I've said it here maybe on this channel several times, but for me, I think they got worse. So you're saying that I think it's the other way around. I think it's Boston's going in a better direction. And I think that the Celtics will possibly have a chance of winning the division. So I already put a future in for the Atlantic division to be won by the Celtics. And I think it's the other way around here for the Knicks. I think they may not be a playoff team this year or possible play-in team. The defense may take a backseat. They had the great defense last year. They shot the 3 really well. They got rid of Reggie Bullock, and they got a guy that doesn't play defense in Kemba Walker. So those things just kind of steer me the wrong way. And I know that this is a team that a lot of people are confident on because they made it, to the NBA playoffs, got smashed up by the Hawks, of course. But that media-driven team in the New York Knicks is kind of a cold thing to take in because they get a lot of love. They get a lot of, public light, rightfully so because it's the media capital of the world and all that good stuff. But I think that kind of clouds a lot of people's judgment. And here I think that Kemba is a great, like you said, it's a homebred guy. He's going to sell tickets, but is this going to win them games? And honestly, this is the first bet I made for this card. I took the Boston Celtics money line. I think they play really well starting off. I love Dennis Schroeder coming off the bench. I like some of the other guys that they pick up. I like the young kids and Pritchard and as far as Williams and Robert Williams and Grant Williams. I'm sorry. I like those kids, so I think they're going to play well here. Even though, don't get me wrong, I do like that Mitchell is healthy for the New York Knicks. I do like what he did to his body, got himself in shape. As far as Mitchell Robinson, I'm trying to say, I think he got better. It's just that the shooters aren't there for this team like they were last year. They're really good in 3-point. I don't think they're going to do that this year. So even though you got Fournier, which didn't do nothing for the Boston Celtics last year, I know he was hurt, but it's going to be something to see how to this team. And Thibodeau is going to run Kemba to the ground, bro. He's already beat up. Thibodeau is known for beating them up even down to the bone. So I could see this team possibly having injuries later on down the line as well. So it's unfortunate, but I like Derrick Rose and all that, but I think they lose today. I took the Boston Celtics money line. I got it at plus 115. I think right now you're getting it at plus 105, maybe even money some places.
Well, you can still get it at plus 112 at
Nice.
Pinnacle. So we'll give you the best line available, being that Pinnacle plus 112. Celtics to take care of business. We have Matty Ice telling us that Jaylen Brown will be in. So
Yes.
Celtics money line at plus 112 for Wham Bam to get his season off. So I guess the Knicks had real chemistry last year. It was so noticeable. They kept fighting. They kept playing well. And it was Julius Randle's team. Is this not Julius Randle's team anymore? Is this Kemba's team? Is there gonna be legitimate chemistry issues right off the top, or is there a possibility of that?
Before I answer that question, that's the reason why I like Boston even more, because they had the Kyrie shit. Now they had the Kemba shit. Now they don't got that no more. So like you said, maybe this is right. So to answer your question, maybe that is a problem here. I don't think it is though, to be honest, because I think some of the guys in the locker room are still there, like Derrick Rose, to kind of keep everything balanced, in my opinion. So, he still have an old head there that's going to be able to keep everything balanced. I think it still is Julius' team. I think he's going to still make those, late game heroics, going left only heroics in game crunch time situations. But I think it's going to still be him. But you never know, man. This is a Madison Square Garden game. He's selling all those tickets. It could be some last-second shot stuff with Kemba, and he looked it okay in preseason. I'm not going to say he looked it bad or anything. It's just history shows that you don't want to go ahead and think that he's going to make a difference in this type of environment when you're going against two big teams that's, especially bad blood teams. I really like this look, and it's an underdog on the road. It's probably a good bad spot for most, but I think Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, they will play well tonight.
Very exciting. Wham is opening up his action here on our show with the Celtics money line at plus 112. Again, we'll be tracking everything this year, and his account is officially open. I still have yet to make a move on this card. We move on to 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Washington Wizards at Toronto Raptors, Scotiabank Arena in Toronto, Ontario. And thank you. God, thank you that they're just back. We just want them back where when they're losing and things are going wrong, we can boost their spirits and get them in Toronto. And just, God, it sucked not having them last year. And we're just so happy to have our boys back. So they say that this is like life. This is our life with begins without Kyle Lowry. What are you talking about? Was anybody watching last season? We saw what our life is like without Kyle Lowry. He was not there for us. It was very questionable last 20 games in the Raptors on the Raptors team. The whole situation of him sitting and not trading him and all this stuff is still confusing to me. I still don't get it. But we know what life is like without Kyle Lowry. It's just not going to shock us here. Pascal Siakam, he's got to be a monster, and he's about 2 weeks away from a return. So he's saying all the right things. He's so happy to be in Toronto, back in Toronto. So we're very excited about what he could possibly do, because he certainly did not look good last year. He certainly has not looked good in high leverage situations. Anunoby we think is one of the best defenders in the NBA. We expect him to defend anybody who's hot all year long. And Nick Nurse is in love with him. So, and we all are. We all love OG. We bring in Dragic and Precious Achiuwa from Miami. I don't know what to say about that. Gary Trent Jr. and Kem Birch are fan favorites already. Kem Birch being Canadian. And we're going to have all these basketball players that are 6'9", and they can all defend pretty much every position on the floor. And it's like an experiment is taking place here. Scotty Barnes is everything that you want in a basketball player. Now, he probably won't show it in his rookie season, but my God, is he going to be perfect player, defending everything long. Like, he's just, his attitudes, everybody loves him. And then Malachi Flynn is continuing to develop, and we really like what we saw from him at the end of last year. Chris Boucher, day-to-day. So we have Wes Unseld Jr. And a huge makeover with these Wizards. So they have Bradley Beal still there, but they bring in Dinwiddie, Caldwell Pope, Montrezl Harrell, Aaron Holiday, Kyle Kuzma. Rui Hachimura is on the COVID list. He's out. And Thomas Bryant is not coming back till December. And we know both of those big bodies will be useful for Washington. And here's the market. Let's move over to the spread right now. Here we go. Washington opening up as 2.5-point dogs. That's where they stand right now. This total opened up at 218.5 and is shot up to 222. It's moving up very quickly. And from a cash flow standpoint, 8,107 tickets in. 66% of the tickets, the public, are on the Raptors, but just 38% of the cash. And then 33% of the tickets are on the under, and 89% of cash is on the under, even though it's gone up 3 points. Wham Bam, take it away. Wizards, Raptors.
This is only a Raptor spot. This is only a Raptor spot. This is the only way I could look at this. Like you said, man, you guys are back at the house. You guys got to think that's going to mean something to the fans, something to the players, something to the organization. Back at the house after all the COVID stuff. A lot of people have been able to do that already. They haven't. They were in Tampa. they hated it there. You know what I mean? It seems like you go to the bubble, then you got to go back to Florida. That was the worst turnaround they had experienced. So I think that's going to mean a lot. I don't think you mentioned Princess Achua either. Precious Achua either, man. That guy is a good pickup for the Raptors. I think that's going to be a good big man for him, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's going to be an issue, though, for this Wizards team, though, man. I think they have too many guys at the front court. That might mess up their chemistry issues. We're talking about teams with chemistry issues that possibly have chemistry issues. I think this is a good team to keep an eye out on for the Washington Wizards. They might have chemistry issues. I like Spencer Dinwiddie. Don't get me wrong. He's going to be a great player for this team. I think Bradley Beal is going to play well with him. I just believe that the front court might be a problem. I wish they did have Thomas Bryant because that's going to make them a lot better to stretch the floor. Another big guy. He probably can't he can't do free layups, but he can definitely hit a three, which is stupid as hell. But hopefully he gets a little bit better down low in his upper body strength or whatever. But neither here nor there. I could only look at the Raptors here. I think the Raptors are probably going to be, one of those teams that can possibly go either direction, either make it to the play-in, get themselves in the playoffs, or be a lottery team. I think it's probably best if they are a lottery team, in my opinion, because they already got pretty good pieces. Scotty Barnes, I think he will show great signs this year. He will be a great defender. Having that guy and OG on the perimeter there, that's going to be really tough to stop there defensively, what they're going to be doing down there. So I like this team defensive-wise. Chris Boucher's playing today, it seems like. So he's going to be playing today with the finger issue there. He will be playing. So I'll love to see how they're going to end up playing all these guys in the rotation. Only way I could look here is the Raptors, bro. I did make a play here yet, but I'm probably going to be locking this in before the NBA Pub Hub show.
And then anything you decide to make official when on the days of you do the show, you can just tag me and just say it's an official pick, and we'll add it to your record. I think Kem Birch is going to have a big season. Now, I mean, in saying that, what does that mean? Averaging 9 points and 9 boards a game, something like that. 9 points and 8.2 boards a game. I really maybe just because he's Canadian, I'm like higher on him than I should be, but. We all loved the pickup. We wanted him re-signed in the offseason, and we really like him. Like everything about him. Like having him in a Raptors uniform. Puzzler leaning hard, first half under right now. This is tricky. Very, very tricky. And Eric Chang saying NBA Pub Hub at 1 p.m. Pacific is the best NBA show, bar none. Come join the fun. Thank you, Eric Chang. We love it. We're so proud of that show. So it's every day, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. I don't know. I'm surprised. It's too bad all the sharp money's on Washington. So yeah, man. It makes me nervous. Danny Betts leaning to Raptors and over. Are you going to make the Raptors official, or are you going to wait on it?
I'm going to wait for right now just because I'm just going to just hold my hands in my pocket for a second just to see if the line moves a little bit. I believe that the line will possibly move in the direction for the Wizards. You could possibly get a better. I want to take the money line. I don't want to take the minus 140 that I got in my book right now. So if I could get it like a little bit less than that, I'll probably lock it in now. But I don't think you're going to get best than like minus 135, minus 140. I'll probably leave it on right now.
And Mr. Gokster's golf show, 1:30 Eastern today. So that's just right after the show. Okay, can you put a different hat on right now? Could you tell me what would be the reasoning for the Sharps to back the Wizards in this spot? If you like the Wizards, what would be the reasoning behind it?
I just believe I would believe that they're gonna make shots. And that's what I'm betting against. I will bet against that shit. So I guess I'm not a Sharp there, bro, because I guess they think that they're gonna make shots. And did you guys got me was I in fuzzy there or anything?
No, you're good. You're good.
Y'all can hear me perfect? Okay.
Yeah, you're good.
I was just making sure. Okay, cool. But yeah, I don't it's kind of hard for as far as long as I've been doing this for, man, it's crazy to think that we've been doing this for 5 years. I've been knowing you for 5 years. It's crazy. I don't think I ever really knew what like the Sharps' minds be at a lot of the time. Like they take fucking Cleveland every day, every week that 1 year and shit. Like it's just crazy things that they do all the time. So this could be another crazy thing in my opinion. I think a lot of people like the Wizards. A lot of people that are, Washington natives, they like the Wizards. A lot of my Washington friends from DC, they like the Wizards. They think they're going to be good. I'm thinking Bradley Beal only signed for stats, you guys. Like, he didn't sign to be a great person or a great NBA leader or anything. He signed to be the number one scorer in the league. So I don't see it in the Wizards, but honestly, it could be more so a fade of the Raptors, and they're possibly, could be a lottery team, like I mentioned there. That could be it as well, and you're getting a dog spot for the Wizards, who could be constructed as the better team, or even say that they have the better starting five. So you could say that, I guess. But I don't see it, honestly. I think that the Raptors are going to make their shots a lot better, and they're going to play a lot better defense. So in my opinion, I think the Raptors are to play here. So I couldn't really wrap my head around the Sharps, though, bro.
The only way I can see it is if it comes down to a minute left, the score is tied. Well, Dinwiddie and Beal are going to be able to get that bucket better than anybody else on the Raptors. And I guess that's the only thing. Seeing the Sharps on the Wizards right now has me not moving. Isaiah Bolton asking about the link for the golf show. Yeah, it's right here on our Pub Sports channel, and it will be just about 15 or 20 minutes after this show, starring Mr. Ghoster. Okay, Tariq says don't sleep on Kuz. I mean, they have more offense this year, but they're missing those two bigs. Okay, let's move on. Next up, Cleveland Cavaliers at Memphis Grizzlies, FedEx Forum in Memphis, Tennessee. We have Memphis opening up as 7.5-point favorites. This total opening up at 217. It's now at 218 or 218.5. We have here 11,663 tickets in. 42% of the tickets on the Cavs and 69% of the cash is on the Cavs. There's 40% of tickets on the under and 82% of cash on the under. And that is the last game where all of the cash is on the under. I know it just keeps happening, but it changes as we get into the later games. So I agree at this point, and I want to talk it out, but I agree with this look on the Cavs being able to cover. And with Brooks out for the next 2 or 3 weeks, and watching how important it is. I mean, how I just watched, we just all felt like he came into his own, Dillon Brooks last year. And when I look at this lineup without Dillon Brooks there, who he can score, he can defend, he can do everything, I just see him as being a much easier team to play against. Eric Chang got the Cavs plus 8.5, and Billy Pilgrim is on Grizz first half and full game. So the Evan Mobley era in Cleveland Cavaliers history is here. Ricky Rubio comes in, Jared Allen, Lauri Markkanen. I mean, this is an improved Cleveland Cavaliers team. And my problem is that I've believed in Lauri Markkanen and his toddler shoulders and him getting hurt nonstop. I think that Jared Allen and Mobley can be very good, and having Markkanen coming in off the bench. Colin Sexton has been hit very hard in the media this summer for the way he plays. I expect him to improve his all-round game and not look for his own shot first 100% of the time. And I think this team can surprise early. I think Jaren Jackson also came in the league with the same sort of hype as Mobley, and he missed 56 games last year. It's a very big that he's back in the lineup. He just signed a nice big extension, $105 million for 4 years. Memphis has been getting better every year. Every single year they've been getting better and better. And how high can Ja take them? Because we know that he's not only a great basketball player, he's also a great leader. So this is a special team moving in the right direction. But look, I'm a big Brooks guy. I'm a huge Brooks guy, and I think it's a lot that he's out of the lineup. Wham, take it away, Cavs Grizzlies.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think Dillon Brooks is a big key contributor for this Memphis team. But this Memphis team is deep, probably one of the deepest in the NBA. Last year, they had the best bench in the NBA, pretty much read up their bench and kind of got rid of a lot of the dead weight. Justin Winslow. Valanciunas was a big loss there, I believe, later on down the line when we see him down later on in the season. But right now, they should have all their guys healthy. Jared Jackson Jr. has to continue to step up. I'm glad he got his money because we've seen that Colin Sexton doesn't get his money. You know what I'm saying? So he might be a little bit, on the way out, I believe, for this Cleveland Cavalier team. It's the reason why I took Darius Garland to win Most Improved Player of the Year at 2,200. I think that's probably the play there in this team future-wise. But I agree with you. I am very high on them adding Lauri Markkanen. And it really didn't dawn on me until I seen it in preseason when him running the three, having all that length they have with Allen, Mobley, and him running the three. And he can actually defend threes. You know what I mean? He's not less mobile. You know what I mean? So I guess he could hold it down there. But in my opinion, I believe that this is a spot for the Memphis Grizzlies. I think they do come out and cover the first half -4. I think they will have the better bench. They just have the pieces on the bench that's going to be able to cover this number, in my opinion. I think the starters are going to keep it close for the Cavaliers, and I believe that they have some great additions that the Cavaliers do, and they're maybe building the culture as well from things that I've been reading about J.B. Burkstaff and stuff. I like to keep my eye on this team. It's kind of my dark, sleepy team to cover early on, and I'm just thinking that this is a grind city spot. Memphis Grizzlies, a tough place to play. I believe that this team is the deepest, and again, I think this is one of the deepest teams, and this could be a jump year for Ja Morant. Like you said, this is his year to go from all-star to superstar. He could definitely pull it off if he has to hold it down there, but maybe Valanciunas is a tough loss long term. I'm going to keep my eye on this team but in this spot, I would only recommend the first half, something I haven't put in there yet, but this most likely will be the only bet I put it here. I don't like the Darius Garland over 5.5 assists right now because I want to see what type of rotations they have, but Darius Garland usually is an auto assist over for me, so I do like him to continue to get guys involved. Like you said, is Colin Sexton's going to be that guy to take some of those assists away? I want to see a game one first to see, if that's going to be a play, but for right now, only thing I would think is locking in is the -4 for the first half Memphis Grizzlies.
The Grizzlies weren't covering first halves last year.
They weren't.
They weren't at all. And then their depth would take over, and it was uncanny. It was uncanny how they weren't covering any first halves this year. Is just because new season you're just going to put a line through that trend?
I believe that they have the better bench in this particular spot. The reason why I think that the line is so big, I think this is one of the biggest lines of the day at 7.5. Besides the Utah game, I think this is one of those biggest spreads of the game here. So I think this is just the talent discrepancy from the benches of these two teams is going to allow them to cover that. Once these guys get out the second quarter, first quarter, beginning of second quarter, I think that's where you're going to see the Grizzlies kind of take it over from there. It could be close early on. They were a good first quarter team at home as well, if I remember correctly. They're a good first quarter team. This Cleveland Cavaliers team was terrible in the first half last year, but I'm not going to bring that in to this cap or anything. I just think that it could be a new thing, but I just believe that the first half is probably the best bet here. Cleveland can possibly hang around here later on in the game. They figure it out. I like the 3 for Lauri Markkanen. So it's one of those things that I haven't locked in yet, but it most likely will hit the card. If I do, it'll be this first half for Memphis.
Because I want to have something on the Cavs tonight, and then maybe this is just.
I understand,
but I see the sharp money on them, and I'm just, but I don't want to go heads up against you in the first half, and I think that I should probably take all the points I can get plus 7.5, and I also think it's kind of. There's clearly excitement in this Cavaliers team, but then we have Schnizzle, who lives in Cleveland, and he is on the Cavs team total under. Sammy B saying JV's a huge loss for Memphis. I love, we all love him up here. Dave Burke in the house that just put the house, the wife, the dog, and the cat on a 2-leg parlay, Celtics Astros money line, and he gives you a shout out. By the way, if you are in Toronto, amateur night back at the Toronto Yuck Yucks, and Dave Burke, our low bagger, is the host every Tuesday night.
Nice.
Downtown Toronto Yuck Yucks. I'm going to leave a couple question marks there, but I'm a big Brooks guy. I mean, I've said that already. I'm not sold that this is a better team than last year for Memphis. I guess
I understand that. I understand that.
I mean, but it's Jaren Jackson. I mean, how is Jaren Jackson Jr. an absolute monster? I mean,
he can make a shot. He can make a shot. You know what I mean? He can make a shot. That's for sure. I like Desmond Bane. A lot of people don't talk about him enough. Desmond Bane, Melton. Those guys are really nice coming off the bench. Well, Desmond Bain starting, but those guys coming off the bench is just tough, bro. Tough. And then the other center, I forgot his name, man. Freaking Xavier Tillman. Xavier Tillman, bro. Big guy that's gonna have problems for this Cleveland Cavaliers team, man, down low, man. It's gonna have a problem. They're gonna have a problem there. And I think Molly Maul mentioned Steven Adams as well. They may got that. My optimism for the Memphis Grizzlies is based off of they may got rid of some guys, like the right guys, got rid of the right guys to make other guys better.
Very, very interesting. Ski Prophet says you beat NBA for years before doing the sharp square thing. Ski, I didn't do this last year in NBA though. I didn't have the. I just flat out lost NBA last year with no excuses. But you're right. If this is the first year in NBA that I'm doing what we did in baseball, and it gave me a much better baseball season. You're right. This may not work here this year, but I did feel, Ski, like a lot went wrong last year for me. And mainly when I went over my numbers, because I did it again last night, it was the player prop market that killed me. My sides and totals were fine. I mean, they weren't great, but they were fine. It would have been a fine year. It's the player prop market that hurt me that I want to stay away from. But with all these great cappers, we have Ski's going to be on the show moving forward. We have Wham, we have Dutch, we have all the stars of our basketball show. 4 p.m. are going to be making appearances on our show, and we should succeed here. We should succeed. Okay, let's move on.
Succeed. We will.
Thank you, sir. Rockets, Timberwolves next up. Target Center in Minneapolis, Minnesota. What a mess this Timberwolves franchise has become. It's sad. Just constant changeover in the front office. No consistency whatsoever, and you have a lot of talent, but you've also become sort of a laughing stock. The D'Angelo Russell trade was absolutely atrocious, just abysmal. And here you have this team with Anthony Edwards, who looks like the real deal. I like Malik Beasley. I'm not sure if he's long for this career. I don't know. It takes a lot to be a great basketball player year in and year out, and a lot of focus. And I can't comment really on his character, but he's got so much talent. This team seems to have a lot of talent. So they're expected to be much stronger defensively. Beverly, Torian Prince, Jaden McDaniels, Josh Okogie, Jared Vanderbilt. And they're playing this Houston Rockets team that is so young. I mean, look at this. You got Jalen Green joining Kevin Porter Jr., so it's 19 and 21 years old. You have KJ Martin at 20. You have Josh Christopher at 19. I mean, it's just such a young basketball team. But can you count on this Timberwolves team? Williams Wrestling, no, Tuesday is Low Shack in the Bag. It's just that betting with the bags Wednesday to Friday. And yeah, I don't do Mondays because I save Saturdays for horses and for other things. Such a young team. So Sammy B says the Wolves, and the over air chain says this is an over game. And Millsy is on the Edwards over points prop. All right, let's break this down and see where the money is in the market here in Minnesota. We have Minnesota opening up as 5.5-point favorites. Let's move to 6.5. This total is shooting up fast. Opening up at 227.5, now 230.5 for 231. We have 8,763 tickets in. There's 68% confidence that the Timberwolves will go to -7 from the line indicator. 91% of tickets on the Wolves, 97% of cash, 55% of tickets on the Wolves, and a huge amount on the under. Here, I said that was our last game with all the money on the under, but this is the last game. 99% on the under, yet it's gone up 3 points, which is very, very confusing. Oh, I can't wait to hear your breakdown of both of these teams here and your expectations, game one and moving forward. Rockets, T-Wolves, take it away, Wham.
I'm with my guy Marley here in the chat, man. I like the Wolves at home here. I haven't bet it yet, but again, it's possibly could hit the card. I actually think that probably the best spot here is to take the props here because there may be a lot of scoring. Even though we do expect the defense to get a little bit tighter for the Timberwolves. I mean, how much defense is going to be added into this type of team, though, man? These guys are all here. They're re-ing up. They just added Patrick Beverly. I mean, that's one guy out there with 6 fouls. That's not going to help everybody out there, you know what I mean? But I think he's going to play well. I think he's already kind of starting to give these guys a little bit of, leadership in the vet bench style here. But the quotes from Cat are pretty much telling. Like you said, man, having so much turnover.
Wham, you're we've lost you here. Oh, there you're back. You're back.
Oh, my apologies.
Yeah,
my
no worries.
apologies.
All good. Just about 10. Go back 10 seconds. You said you were talking about Cat and what he was saying.
Yeah. So what Cat is saying here in a presser, preseason there, is that a lot of turnover. He's pretty much, having a defeated vibe here in this Minnesota Timberwolves. I mean, but obviously it's a lot of that to do with the things they dealt with over COVID and all that good stuff. But he mentioned the depth of a coach, the owner situation. And as far as just the utilization of the team, many teammates and things of that nature. So he's dealing with all that. He's also said he was a scapegoat for a second. And I was like, wow, this guy just pouring it out. Is he going to be talking about I'm ready to get the hell up out of here soon? That could be the case here, but I think he got a lot of good talent. It's probably the best team he's been on in a long time as far as Anthony Edwards having that second option here. Now, what kind of player are we going to get from D'Angelo Russell, man? If you're thinking about back in the Minnesota Timberwolves, you got to have him hitting on all cylinders, hitting those long threes that he likes, the rainbow threes and stuff like that. I think the props are probably the best way to attack in here. Christian Wood should be having a great game here. Him going against Karl Anthony Towns should be a pretty good matchup to watch. I think that's going to be interesting there to watch here, but I think the props probably are the play. I think someone mentioned that the Anthony Edwards here points over 22.5 or 22 or something of that nature. I think that is a great look. Anthony Edwards should have a really breakout year, along with what he did towards the end of last season when LaMelo went out, kind of really tried to get himself in contention that Rookie of the Year, didn't get it. He probably is going to play really well right now. So that's where I'm looking here in this game, possibly back in the Timberwolves. I think the Rockets are another team that's just, probably fishing for the lottery. I think Jalen Green is going to be a good upside, but again, his defense is not going to be there. This team is really good, though, as far as developing players, because I like KJ Martin. I like Jayshawn Tate. I like a lot of these other kids, and this is year 2 for Silas, so we get to see what type of coaching he's made of. So we got to give him a break, you know what I mean? He really haven't really got the chance to do anything right yet, but, hopefully a year with Christian Wood healthy, these guys play better. Right now, I think this is a Minnesota spot. They should play a lot better, possibly be a playoff team. They got a shot of getting it done this year, I believe. And what you mentioned about Malik Beasley, I think Malik Beasley is going to be locked in. He's not – it seems like the things that I've been reading, he's not tripping off of being a six man of the year candidate or, coming off the bench, being a top guy. He said he's going to be the best player coming off the bench this year. I think that's something that he could possibly pull off. I think he can get the 6th man of the year, even though I bet Dennis Schroeder to do that. But I think Malik Beasley could be one of those guys that continue to play well. The things that he dealt with over the last 12 months is big as well. You know what I mean? Just as much crazy shit Cat went through. He's probably right there second to the team's trauma. You know what I mean? So, but I mean, for the most part, I just think that the Timberwolves probably are to play. The line is pretty big for the reason there, but I would think the Timberwolves hold it down, and also Anthony Edwards continue to eat on both ends.
I wonder if this is so. One of the things I want to say about Cat is it just doesn't seem like he handles adversity well. He's so talented and special, and like when he makes the All-Star game and starts sobbing, I'm like, where's this coming from? Because I don't. What do you care about? Do you care about winning and your franchise getting better and digging deep and being there for your boys, or do you care about, shaking hands at the All-Star game and getting that clout? Like he's a confusing guy, but he's very good. And when I look at this roster and I'm like trying to figure out if it's going to be successful, I keep coming back to Malik Beasley because we know that I can't really trust D'Angelo Russell. He can be very good. We know that if you're going to play this team, you got to focus on Ant and Cat and focus your defense on them. And who's that leave? That leaves Malik Beasley, who should be just a go-to score and he's instant offense. He's got so much. His skills are so enormous. Okay, is anything you want to make official? We have that prop for Ant at 22.5, and we have this spot on the Timberwolves climbing right now. It's You can get them right now at 6.5, but the market confidently thinks it will hit 7.
One thing too that I want to add as well, Minnesota Timberwolves were terrible in the fourth quarter last year. When I say terrible in the fourth quarter last year, they were bad, bro. They were going out winning games, looked like in the first half, third quarter, going crazy. Then it just fucking fall the fuck off in the fourth quarter. And this team in the Rockets, they were one of those teams that was kind of sneaky in the fourth quarter last year. Yeah. So it's kind of one of those things that I am kind of tread lightly. The reason why I haven't bet it yet. I want to continue to talk to you about it. And obviously I'm doing a few shows today. So I think I want to get that off there, see what it looks like. But that's probably the way I'm going here. Is probably taking the Timberwolves -6.5, -6. Hopefully we get it around there by the time I lock it in official. But that's the only way I will look here. And Ant-Man over 22.5 points. It's the only way I will look. But I'm not going to make it official right now. We'll just stall it out. But I will make these additions. Hopefully we can figure out a system here. But I think that's probably what it is. We talk about them. If the best I haven't made in, I'm not going to lock them in official yet until I lock them in. So
okay, and I'll keep an eye out. Tag me and we'll lock it in. All right, I'm on the board. After the breakdown and everything, I'm going to take the Minnesota Timberwolves first half at -3.5 in this game. I expect them to come out early, and it wouldn't surprise me if they lack focus in the second half if they're up big. So I like that. I like that quite a bit. All right, there we go. I'm finally on the board, and we have our man Wham close to making additions as well. There's Marcelo in the house. Great to see you. All right, we got big games coming up. We got Walter Trotter rolling with us here on Betting with the Bag. And next up at 8 p.m. Eastern, a game that everybody wants to watch. It's too bad there is no Zion Williamson or Ben Simmons, but I'm talking about Sixers Pelicans. And not only am I talking about Sixers Pelicans, but we have finally arrived at the taint play of the day. Joel Embiid over 10.5 rebounds for Taint. Taint is on the board. We're at the Smoothie King Center in New Orleans, Louisiana. So no Zion, no Ben Simmons suspended for a game because of conduct detrimental to the team. I mean, it's just getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And I love it. So he backed off of his holdout, reported to Philly, passed through NBA protocols, returned to practice, but didn't care about being there. And Doc Rivers has a lot on his hands. And, of course, Doc's talking about how great the chemistry is. We have best chemistry I've ever been around. This is the best. Just trying to pretend that everything is hunky-dory over here. Vitalis in the house. He says, my play will be on the Blazers. Eric Nisbet looking 76ers all day long. Lay it and play it. Let's talk about the market, and then we will move into where the cash is in this spot. And here we go. Sorry, just taking me a second to move over again. Okay, here we go. We have the Sixers opening up as -4.5 point favorites. That's dropping. There's 4 at Pinnacle, and there's 3.5s on the board. This total opens up at 226.5. We now have 224.5. From a cash flow standpoint, 13,870 tickets in. 89% of the tickets, 63% of the cash on the Sixers. So bigger bets coming in on the Pelicans. Market moving towards the Pelicans. Then we have 47% of tickets on the over, 96% of cash on the over. Okay, so Philly has Embiid, Seth Curry, Tobias Harris, and Danny Green coming back, and they're going to be a good basketball team. But they have a ton tied up into the number 1 overall pick in the 2016 draft, Ben Simmons. Shake Milton, who would normally fill in for Simmons, is not going to play or isn't expected to play because of the ankle injury. So we have Tyrese Maxey going to start, expected to start. Van Gundy gone after that 31-41 season. God, he's not getting a job again. The starting lineup is still kind of up in the air. The roster is so different from last year. No Lonzo, no Steven Adams, no Eric Bledsoe. They bring in Valanciunas. They bring in Devontae Graham. Both of those players I like very much. They bring in Satoransky, who's I think he's a good backup point guard because he can defend, and Garrett Temple, who's always seemed to disappoint throughout his NBA career. Here's a beauty, Wham Bam. Sixers Pelicans, take it away.
Yeah, man. It's only way to go here, Sixers. I don't care how many big bets is coming in on the Pelicans. What do they see in this roster, bro? Like, I don't understand it. Um, I'll start off with what I like about the Sixers. Obviously, we talked about the Ben Simmons situation, and we're not going to waste any more breath there. We just say babysitting, and then we'll leave it at that. I like Niang being added to this bench. He was a big deal, shot maker, 3-point stretch guy, stretch for the Utah Jazz last year. I think he's going to do that for this team. Be another shooter for them, for the Sixers team. I like Drummond coming off the bench on non-Embiid minutes as well. He's not going to be one of those guys that's going to be, started in the role like they threw him out there with the Lakers, but he's going to be a good guy that should be able to take advantage of Jackson Hayes, in my opinion, on the block there. So I think that's a good look. But I'm really keying in on Seth Curry. I think the stepson, the son-in-law, whatever you want to call it, he should be out there playing. He should be the guy that's thriving without Ben Simmons. It shouldn't be Maxey. This is his second year. Allow him to continue to develop. It should be you, bro. You got paid. You need to be out there contributing. And also, I know your damn wife. That's how Doc Rivers should be taking this. You know what I mean? In my opinion, he needs to hold these guys accountable. Besides kicking out Ben Simmons, you need to hold these other guys accountable, like Seth Curry and Danny Green. Danny Green needs to make these shots. But I think this is a short number, which is kind of trappy, in my opinion, because this New Orleans Pelicans team, it shouldn't be really getting this much love. Obviously, they're at the house. This is without Zion. He's obviously eating too many beignets. And I don't know, maybe we haven't got the same diet plan for Brandon Ingram. What we're going to expect from Brandon Ingram, is he going to be efficient or not? I don't think he is. I think he got a worse point guard. The point guard drop-off is going to be shown tremendously with Devontae Graham from Lonzo Ball. Devontae Graham will make threes, but he's going to have to shoot 18 of the motherfuckers in order to make 9. So, you know what I mean? It's just going to be tough there, in my opinion, for this team to be able to show what they lost compared with their. I do like Valanciunas, though. Don't get me wrong. I do like Valanciunas, but I think Embiid is going to take over that spot in this matchup. He should show up today. So the production from Valanciunas may be a wash. It's just the other guys, man. I think that's what it's really going to be about. Are you going to get Brandon Ingram to play better than Seth Curry? I think Seth Curry should be able to make his shots more consistent, and these other guys coming off the bench help these guys out a lot. I will only lean here 76ers. Haven't locked it in yet. This is the game I actually really wanted to talk to you about, because with the locker room situation, are we coming here that now they have a chance to kind of get out of that locker room stuff, get out of all that Ben Simmons talk, and then we can actually focus in on basketball? Is this their escape from the Ben Simmons drama, and by beating up this New Orleans Pelicans team? I believe so. And if you say, yeah, I think this is the official play for sure for the 76ers. If that's not the case, if you don't think they'll be that focused here, they could be possibly, letting these guys run up on them at the house. I mean, on the road. What do you think, bro?
Well, I don't know which route they will take. That's the thing. So I can't say, they'll be laser focused here, because if something goes wrong tonight, man, I mean, the press is just going to be all over him, all over everyone. So I can't legitimately say, because I didn't know what the Raiders were going to do with Bisaccia. I didn't know how they were going to handle that, and I expected them not to handle it as well as they did. So, and I know it's a very different situation, but look, we up here, just before we move on, are huge fans of Nickeil Alexander-Walker. We love him. When New Orleans made the offseason decisions to open up everything for him, it made us extremely excited and extremely proud. What are your expectations of him this year?
I just got to see it from him, man. He didn't look that good in preseason. I got to see it from him. He has potential for sure to be one of those guys. Just got to be able to see it consistently, man. He has flashes. Those flashes are there. He definitely deserved to be a starter at this point. You know what I mean? Compared to what their roster is, I wouldn't start any of these other guys over him. So that's for sure. So he has the keys, like you say. He has the room made available to him. It's just that maybe a shoot first point guard, maybe not his best thing. I think it would have been better off. I mean, it didn't really work out with Lonzo, but I think it would have been better if they ran him with Lonzo than how they did it right there. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I think Alexander Walker should ball out though. He should ball out this year. It's just in this spot, he's gonna get locked. I think he's gonna get locked down in this particular spot because the defense is gonna come from probably like Thibault. Thibault most likely probably guarding Brandon Ingram, if I'm not mistaken. But he's probably gonna see some pretty good tough defense today.
Dutch boy fresh in the house, one of the stars of our big 4 p.m. Eastern show, and will also be on our show here, Betting with the Bag, tomorrow. Dutchy celebrated his birthday yesterday as well. Says Sixers easy, Pelicans are a fade. Very, very interesting market moves around, and one of the most interesting is the market moving towards the Pelicans. We have the taint play of the day, Embiid over 10.5 boards for sweet taint. All right, we roll on, and again, I could not endorse the Sixers enough at this point, and we will see if there's a decision made by our Wham Bam. All right, let's
It's trappy, bro. It's trappy, y'all. Tread lightly.
It's exciting. I love these 11-game cards. I love having opportunities to pass and to take. But I'm only on the board once right now, and I want more. And as soon as I say that, my palms leak. Magic, Spurs, AT&T Center, San Antonio, Texas. 2 teams with a ton of roster changes, and one in the Magic that I'm very excited to watch. San Antonio opening up as 5-point favorites, now 6 or 6.5. This total's gone from 214 and it's dropping. There's 213s on the board, and Pinnacle just moved it to 212. So a lot of love coming in for Pop in this squad with the Spurs. Let's see if the cash follows suit here. 7,464 tickets in, and it does. 73% of tickets on the Spurs, 98% of cash. Wow. 31% of tickets on the under, 56% of cash on the under. So big bets coming in on the under. Market moving towards the under, even though the public looks like they're on the over. Wild. Spurs will be younger. No more DeMar DeRozan, no Patty Mills, no Rudy Gay. You got Lonnie Walker, Derek White, DeWante Murray, Keldon Johnson, and Jakob Poeltl. We love Poeltl here up north, and he was a draft pick that we believed in, and I think he's improved under Pop. No one has probably improved as quickly as Keldon Johnson. DeWante Murray seems like the perfect point guard, but can't seem to stay healthy for an entire season. Bryn Forbes comes back. Then we have Zach Collins, Doug McDermott, and Thaddeus Young have also joined the group. They draft Primo, Wisekamp. And then we have this Orlando Magic team with all these moving pieces. Markelle Fultz and Jonathan Isaac both coming off knee injuries. They're expected to join Jalen Suggs and Terrence Ross and Wendell Carter Jr. in the starting lineup. I'm a fan of Wendell Carter Jr. I think he's got a really nice opportunity. He seems to say the right things, and he wanted out of Chicago. It was very interesting, not believing in that nucleus and being outspoken about it. Now he's got a chance here with the Magic. Cole Anthony will be on the bench. They've got a lot of interesting pieces on the bench. You have R.J. Hampton, Moritz Wagner, Mo Bamba, Gary Harris, Robin Lopez, Michael Carter-Williams. Average age 24.7, third youngest team in the NBA. Do you agree with this market move towards the Spurs and towards the under?
I actually no. I actually don't like the Spurs here. I think they're going to be a lottery team this year. Of course, we're going to think the Magic going to be a lottery team as well. They just have a lot better players. I think a lot upside more players. But I do agree with Slaughter here. Keldon Johnson over 22.5 points, rebounds, and assists. I think he's going to be one of those guys we mentioned about Jeremy Grant earlier, Olympian gold medalist, to have a great season based off of what he did in the Olympics. I think he definitely is one of those guys, one of those candidates. In my opinion, though, this got to be a Magic spot here. I think the Magic are probably live. You don't want to take them at San Antonio, though, because San Antonio tends to cover when they're at the house. This is a Pop-led team. I think that's the reason why they're getting a lot of love. Last year, they were pretty good on the road early on, but at the house, they weren't that good. I think I think this team is a little bit this little team is a little bit tricky there because they got guys coming back like Brian Ford, or Forbes, whatever his name is, from Milwaukee. He seemed like he was just cashed away because they got Grayson Allen. They already had eyes on him, which seemed like a great pickup. I think Forbes is not that good in my opinion. I'm not really high on Forbes. I do like Jakob Poeltl though, like you mentioned that. I do like Jakob Poeltl. I do like Keldon Johnson. DeJounte Murray, he definitely has to be healthy in order for them to be well here. I think Orlando just a little bit better as far as talent-wise. I do want Chimo Okeke in the lineup. He's not going to be in today, so that is something I'm kind of upset about there. More as well, you do want an extra shooter. But I think the shooters that they have available to them today should be okay. I do like the kid, Wagner kid, the rookie that they most likely going to have starting out there. I think he's going to play well today. I like how they extended Wendell Carter Jr. I can already tell that they're locking in on him, looking to ship off Mo Bamba. Mo Bamba probably is going to get a spotlight, though, in today's game and show off his talents because they want to shop him off. So he's probably going to play well today. I think those things are going to be in the count. So in my opinion, I think this Magic team is live. We all know that the Magic are one of those teams you want to get them when they're big, fat, juicy underdogs, when people are really doubting them, and a lot of the people are betting against them. And this is one of those spots I think that you could possibly get, a good cover here for the Magic. Most likely they're even going to win at this spot. So I probably would endorse the money line here. Again, I haven't locked this one in yet, but this is probably one of the plays I would lock in if I was. It will definitely be the Magic, probably money line. I think that they could win this game. I like their additions. I like Jalen Suggs. And I think these guys are going to play a lot today. As far as Cole Anthony, year 2 for him. See how he does, but I don't think he's going to last that long as soon as those other guys get healthy.
Okay, I've got a couple things here. A great breakdown, Wham. First off, just as an aside, I was all over picking Scotty Barnes over Jalen Suggs, all over it. And so many of my friends here in Toronto were just aghast and so angry. And now everybody's come full circle. Everybody's very comfortable with the Scotty Barnes over Jalen Suggs draft. Secondly, do you think that the Sharps are hammering the Spurs because they have faith in Pop having this team ready to go right away and don't have faith in Jamal Mosley as a first-year coach having this Magic team ready to go with all the moving parts? That's the reason?
That's the only reason why I think that they're on them, because it's not necessarily about the team constructed, because it's a lot of older guys. I mean, I do like the additions that they made, though. Don't get me wrong. I do like Thaddeus Young. He played really well under Billy Donovan last year. Probably got him another gig with the Spurs there. That was a good pick up there from their scouting team. I do believe that. But first-year coach, first-year work. Who cares, man? Pop didn't look that good last year, bro. Didn't seem like he was making a lot of decisions. I mean, if anything, it's Becky Hammond they're really confident in. They're really confident in her because she was doing a lot of the adjustments. I was watching a lot of those games where Pop was just fucking throw zone out there in the middle of the damn game. Like, what the fuck is you doing, Pop? Like, it just looked like some old man shit that he was doing out there. So it seemed like and it was kind of rightfully so. He got a little pushback with the Olympic stuff as well. So I think it's Becky Hammond, man. We'll be finding out that she's probably going to take over the team a little bit sooner than later, bro. It's probably who they're confident in. But I would only think of the Magic here. Gary Harris coming off the bench. Those guys, they should be a lot better than people think. But again, they're not going to be, a contingent team. Either one of these teams are going to be contingent teams. So that's the reason why I don't respect and I don't really think that the Spurs really have the right to be laying this type of price. So that's the reason why I think it's a little bit more value here on the Magic there. And I hate to go against the Sharps all the damn every fucking game, it seems like, but so yeah, it just sometimes it'd be like that, bro. Sometimes it'd be like that.
I think that there's some legitimacy around what the Sharps are thinking here. That Pop is going to have this team in good form right away, and you're just asking for too much if you're going to say, with all these new pieces, Jamal Mosley's going to have his team ready to go right away. I just think that's too difficult. And if we're going to trust Pop here you probably trust him to have his team ready to go right out of the gate, right away,
Right.
like a Harbaugh situation with the Ravens. So I can understand like your Magic full game. I can understand that, and I'm certainly want to watch this team play. But I think the Spurs are just ready to go right away, and the youth and the players coming back from injury and all these different things going on here with the Magic. I think it's too much to ask right out of the hop. And now I don't like the first quarter -2. I don't dislike it. I don't like the -2s. My I've stopped betting anything at 2.5 or over, but I do like the Spurs first half. I'm not against that -2. So, but I'm going to move on the Spurs early to be ready to go, to be sharp, to be in control, and to probably, play defensive.
Right.
To have the Magic reeling. I'm just going to check out the team prop here very quickly. What's that first half team prop? Is they going to offer me one here?
And while you're doing that, I'll just add as well. I do like the Doug McDermott pickup, bro. That's a big sneaky pickup as well for the San Antonio Spurs. I do like that as well. I agree with you as well. These guys probably should be locked in and maybe tending towards the earlier pick here for the Spurs. And I understand why. I think you're making me realize why the Sharps really are looking at this game as possibly be like a filler game for the first year coach. And you don't know anything about him, so you don't even want to back him because of that. But it's the reason why I haven't bet it yet. But I can only think Magic here. It's just really fucking screaming at me, honestly.
I know what I'm going to do. I've now decided. I'm going to take the Spurs first half, and I'm going to take the Magic first quarter under. Magic first quarter team total under 26.5. 26.5 and the Spurs first half. Those are going to be my two looks here in this game. And I love it. Okay, great breakdown. I'm excited about this spot, and I think we can take advantage here. And I know we're going long here, but God damn, it feels good. And we still have two NHL games, so we only have 3 NBA games left to go. Sorry, I'm just milking every last second of Wham rolling with us. Okay, let's keep rolling. Next up, 9 p.m. Eastern, Oklahoma City at Utah Jazz. We're at Vivint Arena in Salt Lake City, Utah. Let's move over to the market here. Full game spreads and totals. And Oklahoma City, Utah opening up at -12. They're now -13. There's total opening up at 220.5. It's now 221.5. When we go to the cash flow situation, 9,179 tickets in. 71% of tickets are on the Jazz, and the money totals aren't up for whatever reason. 59% of tickets on the over, 55% of cash on the over. So this main core is all coming back. Donovan Mitchell, Mike Conley, Rudy Gobert, Jordan Clarkson, Bojan Bogdanovic, Joe Ingles, Slow-Mo Joe. Then they pick up Rudy Gay, who's not going to be available. Hassan Whiteside coming off the bench. And everybody excited about what Jared Butler can bring to the table. And OKC finished 2021 by going 2-23. And that looks like that's what they want him to do. So Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was excellent last year. He, on the props market, everything was going okay till he got hurt. And I started falling apart in the props market. A max contract for Shai. We're all proud of him and excited for him. This is an interesting spot. 420 Fuego says, feeling the Jazz. Here we go. Thunder, Jazz, take it away.
Yes, sir. I love that you brought up Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. It's probably a good way to look here, but man, damn, can they blow them out early and pull his ass and sit him down and try to save him for the rest of the year? I could see that shit happening. They have so many young guys to try to develop in OKC. I could see that happening, man. But I just love the Shai Gilgeous-Alexander points, rebounds, and assists. It just always calls me every time I see these guys healthy. And I did take a stab at it last night. As soon as it opened up at 28.5 points, rebounds, and assists. I did take a stab at it right now earlier last night, but man, do I want to make it an official play? No, because I think maybe it's going to be a blowout situation here. The Jazz possibly could cover this 13 and a half, 14 even. You know what I mean? I could see that happening here. I don't want to make this official, but I believe that that's going to happen. I think Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, triple-double watch for him. He actually got a little bit better guys are coming into this. I love Josh Giddey. Josh Giddey, the rookie for OKC. He's possibly going to start tonight. I love that kid. He plays really flashy games. He's going to be on the highlight reel a lot this year. Roby, Isaiah Roby, I mean, he played really well last year. He got his time in. Lou Dort made a big adjustment, big improvement last year as well. So you get to see him having a little bit better of a starting lineup than role cast record, whatever I meant to say. I can't get it out of my mouth there.
Role players?
Yes, role players, bro. He has a casting a lot of guys there to pass it around to get these assist totals, to get the rebounds there. I think he's going to still be able to do that. Utah Jazz, though, when you think of them, first thing I mentioned, I think of is Royce O'Neal, his three-point props, bro. I'm going to be keeping an eye out on that as well. I haven't locked that in or looked in anything that yet, but that's the first thing I normally will look at. It looks like they're giving us at 1.5, minus 120. That's typically where it was at all last year. We was cashing it, and it was going in early. He's a starting guy. He starts in the lineup. Another guy to look out on as well as Jordan Clarkson, the props. I think this is a good over game, in my opinion. I wouldn't take the side, though, because obviously it's a big spread. We know that the Jazz shoot a lot of threes. The Thunder are not going to keep up with the amount of threes that they're going to shoot here. So it's going to be basically a lot of twos for threes. And that's the reason why I think it could be a possible blowout. The reason why I'm kind of sad here, and I don't want to make my SGA prop official here. Probably just stay here with 3 bets because I do like the next game here. So I probably will leave it alone here. But SGA is probably the biggest lean that I have over points, rebounds, and assists. I think you're getting it at 29.5 right now.
What about if we expect the Jazz to come out firing early and rolling and possibly way ahead and shutting down in the second half? What about the Jazz first half team total over at 60.5?
That makes sense to me. That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense to me. You said 60.5 in the first half for the Jazz? You
yeah, first half team total over 60.5 for a Jazz team that we know they're going to come out firing and
great stat, Dutch. Damn, that's interesting as hell. You think about these guys. Where's the defense going to come from? Utah. I mean, for the OKC. I don't really. It's a lot of guys that have shown upside. Don't get me wrong. Roby shows upside. As far as what they have at center for the Utah OKC. I do like Bazley. He's a long defender type guy. I do like Bazley there. Lou Dort, we know who type of defense he's going to bring, top tier. Josh Giddey, I think he's going to be a long guy. He's going to be probably guarding Conley in this spot. Yeah, man, the guys coming back healthy is probably the reason why I would take that over, though. Because you're going to get Conley playing well. You're going to get Donovan Mitchell with his heroics. And I really think that Royce O'Neal could cash second quarter, first quarter. So, yeah, that makes a lot of sense, bro. That makes a lot of sense.
The first quarter team total for the Jazz is at 30.5, and it's juiced to the over.
I love that one actually better. 30.5 makes sense, man. I could see them having like 35, 40 in the first quarter, bro.
So you like the first quarter better than
I like the first quarter. I like the first quarter a little bit better. But you said it's juice, so you may what's the difference between a juice? Because you're only getting you're getting 30 in the second quarter as well. Pretty much.
The first half team total is juiced to the under at 60.5. So they expect to come out firing and then play the bench and slow the pace down. And
I actually would I would say probably you would want to lean towards the first half because you're getting just the same amount of points. Just you hope that they have 40 points in the first quarter for sure. That makes it even easier. But
okay, I'm gonna have to figure this out. Then I'm not gonna sit here and do that in front of you guys. So I'm going to make a move on the Jazz team total, either the first quarter or the first half over. Dutch Boy Fresh liking the look. Dan T says Jazz finna drop 72 first half. He has a final score, by the way, of Jazz 205, Thunder 67. So that's the final score. Okay. Okay, let's keep rolling here. I like it. Nothing official for you in this Thunder Jazz spot. By the way, Dutchy saying Thunder 6-1 against the spread last 7, meeting 6-0 against the spread last 6 in Utah. Thunder scrappy. I would probably take the points. Okay, let's move on. And again, if I'll be keeping an eye on Twitter and anything that our guy Wham wants to add, make official for the show, we will add. All right, next up, 10
only
p.m.
did 2 so far, right? So far, only made it 2 officials, the Celtics and Memphis first half, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, and did I give you the number for Memphis first half? Sorry, just take a second here.
I think we got it at 4, though, if I'm not mistaken. I already locked that in at 4.
Okay. Sorry, so many games here. So many pages. Here we go. No, I didn't make that official for you.
Okay. We could lock that one in. We could lock
Grizzlies,
that Memphis in.
First half -4. What was the juice?
It was a -105.
-105. All right, let's keep rolling here because we do have a time limit. We can't be more than 17 minutes from this spot because our man, Mr. Gogser, has his golf show coming up next. All right, let's move on to Nuggets, Phoenix Suns, 10 p.m. Eastern. We're at Footprint Center in Phoenix, Arizona. Phoenix opening up as 6-point favorites right across the board. This total opening up at 223.5. It's now 224 or 224.5. Then we get over to the cash flow in this spot. 8,334 tickets in. 54% of the tickets on the Nuggets. 92% of the cash. Wow. The money is not in for the total, but we do have 87% of tickets on the over. Wow. Nuggets taking a ton of cash here. So Jamal Murray, when games got extremely important, it was when he would step up in the most crucial situations, the highest leverage situations. And in a whole, the Nuggets looked fine without Jamal Murray until every possession became extremely important. And then you were like, God damn, do they miss Jamal Murray? They went 13-5 with him down the stretch. And he's going to be deeply missed, but not really early in the season. You know, Monte Morris and Campazzo, especially Monte's got to step up here. But Michael Porter Jr. stepped up in a very big way and showed that he might be that elite basketball player that we thought he could be in college before the back injury. So you have an MVP in Jokic. You bring in Aaron Gordon. You have Michael Porter rolling. And we won't see Murray for a little while. And, you know, Bones Highland seems like if we watch him in the preseason that he might be a guy with big upside for this team. So the Suns make one trade in the offseason, Landry Shamet on draft night. They bring in JaVale McGee and Elfrid Payton. Maybe somebody can teach Elfrid Payton to care. I don't think it's possible. So the entire starting lineup returns. You know, I love when teams return starting lineups. It just shows how dangerous they can be. And the Suns are going to be dangerous. Are you surprised? Let's start. Are you surprised with all this cash seemingly on Denver Nuggets here in the market not moving?
Not at all. I think the books have it right where they want it. They want the line to stay right here at 6. At 6 for the Suns. They're getting enough money on the Suns, in my opinion. So there's no reason for them to, change the line or change anything from that point on. I think the money coming in on the Denver Nuggets makes sense to me because I think the money, as far as the Denver Nuggets, I think the Denver Nuggets will possibly come out hot, come out really motivated like they normally do. They have the same team as well as both of these teams. They kind of read up, if you're not mistaken. If you got rid of Millsap for the Denver Nuggets, but they're just really getting off the old bones. Some of these guys get a little bit more room to breathe. Aaron Gordon, as far as Michael Porter Jr., he should be able to play well this year. I actually would agree with the money coming in on Denver Nuggets. I got a little play here on the first quarter. That's probably something I'm not going to add because I just kind of bet this game when these two guys go against each other. The first quarter for Denver Nuggets, it just seems like it's a good play because I don't think Aiden is going to play as well as he did in the playoffs against this matchup here. I think he's going to play just enough to get these guys over the hump. His covering spot here is kind of suspect, though. I don't think they really deserve to be 6-point favorites. Obviously, the Suns are going to be a good team. I think that the Aiden situation is kind of fucking with his head. A lot of these kids, they're not cut from the same cloth that they were back in the 80s or the 90s. They get really emotional when certain things happen. So you see the Ben Simmons thing. I wouldn't be surprised if DeAndre Aiden gives a little bit of, feels a little some type of way that everybody's getting paid except for him. You know what I mean? So that may be something that I want to keep an eye out on for this Phoenix Suns team. I don't think it's going to really mess up this game or anything. It's something I'm just going to note there. But I think the Denver Nuggets are going to be a real force in the West. I think this is a good chance for them to be able to circle this game as a measuring stick of how far they came. Even though they don't have Jamal Murray, they still got a lot of guys that can very much do what they have to do. Monte Morris is the first guy that comes to mind, along with Will Barton being healthy. I think me and Dutch talked about that on the Pub Host show. I think Denver Nuggets is probably a live play here. The line movement, I just think the NBA is just getting so much action right now. The Suns is kind of where they want them at. They want them at -6. So I think the Nuggets still are the spot, though.
Yeah. It's, certainly getting hammered by the Sharps, but the line not moving. We got to move on. But in under 30 seconds, Monte Morris expectations. Can he run the point and take over handle the job with ease?
Most definitely. He's making the shots. He's finding the right reads. He does really pick and roll. It's going to be about these other guys making their shots. I think Michael Porter Jr. is going to be hitting the threes in the corner.
Okay, let's move on. So no move for me. There is a first quarter spot there that Wham didn't make official. He's made 2 plays official, but he can tweet on anything he wants after more time. And don't forget, 4 p.m. today is the very big NBA pop-up. Next up, 10 p.m. Eastern, Sacramento Kings and Portland Trailblazers, Moda Center, Portland, Oregon. The Chauncey Billups era begins. Sweet, sweet Chauncey. That was my word for weed in university. Chauncey Billups. Get here with my Chauncey Billups, I would say. Here we go. Portland opening up at -5. Now it's -6 across the board. The total at 230.5 is now at 234.5 and 235. People don't remember that we drafted them.
Right.
Raptors, 1997. He started with us. Oh, Chauncey Billups. I love him. I love his intensity. I love his expectations. I love that he wants his team to get defensive. I think he's going to be a great, great coach. I do. Dennis says, I love that Jimmy goes until we get through the material. I love that too. And I love that Pub Sports also loves it and gives us all the freedom. I love it. Okay. Kings, Blazers. So Lillard was, I don't know what the right word. I don't want to say anything negative about him, but he was not on board, it looked like. And, it's the first year of a 4-year, $176 million contract. You might have wanted to mention that a little earlier. So Terry Stotts was not the answer, and Billups and Lillard are working together. And now they looked awful in preseason, but who cares? It's preseason. But they did go 0-4 and lost by an average of 23.8 points. Sacramento went 4-0, won by an average of 11 points. Do you trust those guys? Absolutely not. Luke Walton, are you kidding me? Kings have gone 15 straight seasons without reaching the playoffs. How bad do you have to be to make Vlade Divac quit? Just give up on you. Just saying, look, I know my jersey's in the rafters, but I can't take this shit anymore. You guys are awful. Make awful decisions. So De'Aaron Fox again. Look, the guy's got so much skill. We're waiting for him to also be a leader and lead this team to winners. Richaun Holmes is sick, so we're dealing with that. But that's about it. Very interesting spot here. Kings, Blazers. So the Blazers have moved to 6-point favorites. And from a cash flow perspective, 9,343 tickets in. And very interestingly, Sacramento Kings, 39% of the tickets on them, but 48% of the cash. Very interesting. Obviously thinking that this preseason poor play will continue. And then big big cash on the under. 42% tickets on the under. 99% cash on the under. Here we go. Last game on the board. Wham, Kings, Blazers. Take it away.
Love what the Kings did by doing nothing last in the offseason. I mean, obviously they signed Richaun Holmes. Year 3 for Luke Walton, like you mentioned, man. He's fucking made it. But he did make it, like you mentioned, though. He made it without his damn GM that brought him in, the guy that brought him in, Vlade Divac. And I think Vlade got rid of himself because he's like, hey, I can't do it. I can't just get rid of my guy like that. You know what I mean? He's pretty much about to get canned, Luke Walton. They kept Buddy Love. That's kind of interesting there. I am interested to see what type of defensive philosophy is going to be implemented with the Kings along with the Blazers, because both of these teams give up the ball, give up the hoop, just give up the points, second chance points. It's the first thing that come to mind when I think of both of these teams as far as offensive rebounds and as far as opponents last year. They're both in the bottom tier of that. I think that could be mimicked this way. I do like that Larry Nance Jr. is another guy that they added that's going to help that defensive culture be implemented, because he was one of the great defensive guys for the Cavs. I just will only think over in this spot. Obviously, we're getting a large line here at 235, 236. I think it's coming down a little bit to 235, though. I think you're seeing these guys shoot the ball for sure. If I was to make a play here, which I'm probably not going to make a play, hopefully I'm already cashed out by this time this game comes on. So I'm just watching it as a fan. But if I am up a lot and I want some money here on this game, I'm only going to look at Tyrese Halliburton over 5.5 assists. I think he's going to for sure be that guy for them this year. He already was that guy. You're getting it at plus money, even money right now. I think that's probably the look. You may be even able to get a 4.5 at juiced. I would pay it because I think he's for sure going to get at least 6 assists. So 4.5, just give you a little cushion, save yourself there. But I think that's probably the only way I would look here. I don't have any expectation of either of these teams to do anything for the West.
Wow. You don't think Portland's going to do anything in the West? And very, very, very interesting.
Oh, one thing I'll say, and I think Dame Lillard will run from the grind, y'all. He will run from the grind. This shit is grindy out there, bro.
Yeah, it sucks when you give someone $180 million 4-year extension and he says, I don't want to be here. Very, very, very interesting spot. I'm hesitant to make any move. T-Max says, how's 99% of money on the under? At this point, it is surprising with this many tickets in, but that's full just tickets, right? So when there's 99% of money on the under, when there's 9,394 tickets, it means there's not that many tickets in on the total, and there's one either syndicate or pro that's made a huge bet on the under. And I get it. I completely get it. When this is moved up that many points, you have to think that you have an advantage here. When the models spit out a number that says 230.5 and it goes up to 235, if you blind bet those swings, I was doing that in college football a bit with totals and doing well with them. So I can understand a big bet coming in at 235. Vital says 99% at 234.5 and King screaming defensive schemes. But in this game, I think there's not much to like. I mean, do you expect the Trailblazers to completely turn it around after this horrific preseason, or do you expect the Kings to keep playing good basketball? And one of the things we've seen from Sacramento is they can be good in the beginning of seasons. And have hope, and because they have a lot of skill. Do you think the Bagley issues and him not starting and his agent going off, at least it's not his dad this time, do you think that is a something to really worry about moving forward?
Oh, it's just so strange. Like, why are you guys holding him to not play? Like, that shit is – I just think that is so strange. Maybe that's another reason why Vlade quit. For what your point was, is as far as them being a talented group, showing up early in the season, I think that is very capable here in this spot. This is a team that has talent. They got guys, formidable guys as well with Barnes, Halliburton, and Holmes. They got good guys, but man, so much fucking tricky shit going on, man, with the coach. Bench players. It's just tough, bro. It's just tough. Again, I would want to put money on this game. I'm pretty sure by the end of this night, I know I'm going to want to put money on it, and it's probably just going to be SGA, watching the guy, watch him cook, and that's pretty it, bro.
Daryl Turner saying, I like the over in teams that don't have chemistry. Pelicans, Magic, Suns, Sixers, Jazz, Grizzlies, Bucks. And he likes the over here. I just missed the line. Okay, we've got to talk hockey very quickly here and move on. Let's go over the action here that is official. And it's not a ton yet. We got 2 looks from our man Wham. Celtics money line is his account opener, and then he's on Grizzlies first half. I have some interest in the Cavs full game, but I don't know if I need to move pull the trigger, because I really like Timberwolves first half -3.5. I'm going to move on that. The taint play of the day is Embiid over 10.5 boards. That makes a lot of sense. I got to look into it further. I'm going to be on the Spurs first half and the Magic first quarter team total under 26.5. I expect Pop to have these guys ready to go. I'm going to decide between a team total for the Jazz, either the first quarter or the first half, and I'm leaning towards first half. But, maybe I should just stay off that look. The first quarter is juiced to the over, and it's -125. That might be too expensive at 30.5. And then the first half juiced to the under makes me think that the first quarter is the play and the second quarter is not going to be. So that's where we stand. Wham's going to add plays here on Twitter if he wants to. No pressure. We'll be tracking Wham throughout the season and tracking myself again through the season. We can't promise you wins, but we can promise you honesty and transparency and hard work. So sorry about my son in the background. He's searching for a titty. He's going to get that titty. He's going to get that titty. Wham, thank you so much. Follow our guy on Twitter. He is an absolute great follow, a selfless capper, whom I love dearly. So I'm just going to pop it into the chat for our Wham Bam. Wham, any last words for the great cappers in the chat?
Yes, bro. Just appreciate you guys for being here. The only place you're getting the legendary contact is Pub Sports. I'll be on the NBA Pub today, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Again, we're on the Celtics money line +112. Also, first half for Memphis -4, -105. And I think I'm going to go and add later on the Minnesota first half. I think my guy definitely got me leaning in the right direction there. SGA is probably going to add. I'm probably going to add that too. But then other than that, also, I think Dutch is going to talk me into Philly on the show. So I might be on that too. But later on, let's go ahead and cash these tickets, bro. I appreciate you guys.
Oh, I love the way you guys all work together. It is an excellent show, 4 p.m. with great cappers breaking it down. Please watch. Follow him on Twitter at Trot Wam. Also, Who Bangin' Sports Talk, Wham Talk Wednesdays. We'll be helping promote that as he helps us so much. Wham, we got to go. Thank you so much for your hard work. I didn't realize this was going to be like a 2-hour segment. Your money in the bank.
I got to go pick my mom from the airport, bro.
Okay, thank you, my man. There he is, Wham Bam. We don't have much time for NHL, but let's just get after it very quickly. There's 2 games on the card. Boston Bruins at Philadelphia Flyers, Wells Fargo Center, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Martin Jones is making his season debut, and I don't trust him. Now, we've seen these veterans who have disappointed move to a new team and step up early. Braden Holtby being one of those last night for the Dallas Stars. Do you expect Martin Jones to step up in this situation? Very, very, very questionable. And both of these totals were at 5.5, juiced to the over at -125. And there is our guy. Thank you for jumping on quickly. I was trying to rush so fast, I totally forgot. And I moved on this. It's moved 5 cents now in that direction. It's gone to 5.5 at -130. I am on the over here, and I believe in Swayman. He's not somebody that I'm fading here, and he's trying to win the job from Ullmark. But I just think that this Phillies offense can score, and I like the over 5.5. We have a say-hey play of the day from our man Jose. Second save play of the day here. What's your spot here, my man?
I'm on the over as well, but I have a question. Where's Tuukka Rask? I thought he was still my goalie. Who are these people? I thought Tuukka Rask was my goalie.
You sound like that's my quarterback.
Yeah. I've got like 6 Tuukka Rask jerseys. He's the only Bruin I like, except for Brad. But yeah, I'm on the over too. The Flyers stink. The Bruins are good. I don't know who the goalie is, so he stinks. So we're getting over 5.5.
That is not the sharpest analysis, but you are with me. You are with me here. You are getting a -125 That's by the way, Pinnacle has moved at 6. Actually, can you check if you buy down to 5.5 at Pinnacle if you can get a better line than -125?
Sure, why not?
Take a look. Check that out right now. So the Flyers opened their season with a 5-4 loss to the Canucks in the shootout, then beat up on the Kraken 6-1 on Monday night. They're scoring. They feel good about themselves. This is a very rested Boston Bruins squad. They beat Dallas 3-1 at home on Saturday night. When we go over to the cash flow here in this spot, there's 3,682 tickets in, and this market is not with me at all. The public is on the over, but the sharps are on the under, which makes me nervous. And I think this is a very rested Boston squad, and that Swayman is trying to be the number one goaltender over Ullmark. And I just don't want to be sitting here with these road favorites. I just don't feel like that's a very good thing to do here. And there's been a 7-cent move towards the Bruins at Pinnacle, a 7-cent move with the 80% of the cash, 86% of the things. It just seems like a very rested squad that should come out firing. I don't see why they wouldn't. Tease is on the under. There's my guy Tease in the house. Love you, Tease. Thank you for joining us. This might be a mistake, but I looked at both of these overs and I thought this was the one that I wanted to attack here. And we have the say hey play of the day. I think, Swayman has an opportunity here to take this job and run with it.
Who is that?
Okay.
By the way, the 5.5 is minus 126. I'm looking at it at Pinnacle, and the 6 was at plus 107.
I guess then we don't need to give you that. We can give you minus 125. So let's get you in there. Jose, say hey, play of the day. And we got to go. The golf show is starting right now. So over 5.5.
That's a good show, eh?
125 at Sports Interaction. And
hey, by the way, we have to pick a movie soon, eh?
Yes, we'll give you one. We've got it's down to a couple different options. But Swayman, 4th round pick in 2017 draft out of Anchorage, University of Maine, and he got better and better and better at University of Maine. And last year in Providence, he was splitting the time with Boston, but in Providence he was lights out, 8-1, 1.89 goals against average, 933 save percentage, carried that right over to Boston. So I think he can win this job. Brady says, I'm not betting the total because Philly's due for some negative regression in scoring. It should not be easy to score on the Bruins, but I'm rooting for you guys. So there you have it. So I'm on the over 5.5, but I'm a little nervous. T says, Jimmy, it's a division game. It will be close. Yes, it will be close. And that's why I don't want to back the Bruins as a road favorite here. I just I don't think that makes sense moving forward to have these slight road favorites. I think that's going to hurt you. So Jose in business here. Jose with the over 5.5. He is rolling. We are rolling together in this spot. Many blessings to you, Jose. The say hey play of the day is in over 5.5, and he's also on the Boston Red Sox. There you go.
I forgot about that. Thank you. Oh my God, that's scary. Yeah, but thank you. I appreciate it. And by the way, you never told me. I guess Tuukka Rask is dead. So thanks for letting me know.
No, Tuukka's going to be back. Tuukka's going to be back. Don't.
Why do they have like 4 goalies? What are we doing?
He's going to be out for a long time. He's going to be out for a while. So, okay, and that's why they brought in Ullmark. Okay. Mal says, would you take Philly money line, Jim? No, I do not. When Birdie says there's going to be negative regression offensively, I do not like this defensive. They're a defense that can get points and can deliver outlet passes, but I do not see this as a defense that's going to be able to really shut down a line like the perfection line. That was the reason why I thought there was going to be goals here. And I wish Martin Jones. Who knows? Martin Jones could have a good first start here. I still think there's going to be goals in this hockey game. We move on to Blues, Vegas Golden Knights. This is a very interesting situation. So the Blues are a healthy squad, but Pavel Buchnevich is being suspended 2 games for headbutting Lawson Krause. They opened up the season with a 5-3 win at Colorado, followed that up with a 7-4 win at Arizona. So that Colorado game was going against the Avalanche without Landeskog and without McKinnon. And then they play this weak-ass Coyotes team. So they've started with very weak competition. But the Knights are missing Matthias Janmark to COVID, and Max Pacioretty, the China doll he is out at least a month with a lower body injury. So they haven't played in a while. They opened up their season on opening night. Then they played just 2 nights after that. So they haven't played in 6 days now. They haven't played in a long time, and they're still reeling off of that loss, which is tricky for me to figure out. Vegas opening up at -140. They're now -127, a 13-cent move towards the St. Louis Blues. And I honestly don't like that move. I don't think that move makes sense. Let's see if the Sharps are with that too. They are 38% of the tickets and 73% of the cash on the Blues. And you know what? I don't like that move. I think that, take Max Pacioretty and Janmark out of the lineup, but who have the Blues beaten? And I think the Blues are going to be a good team, but they beat the Avalanche without their best 2 players. Then they beat Arizona, and everyone thinks, this team is rolling. Now you have a rested Knights team. Actually, and Birdie says Blues money line for me following the line movement here. I'm going to fade the line movement. And I guess I needed to talk this out. The Blues have played the weakest competition you can get. And maybe Colorado without their 2 stars isn't the weakest competition you can get. But I don't agree. Blues are rolling early, scoring goals. Of course they are. Look who they played. So Sox, Bulls, Bears says Blues putting up goals, Vegas giving up close to 4 goals a game. The sample size is too small. I think this is a mistake, and I'm going to go against the market move and the Sharps, and I'm going to go up against everybody. I will take Vegas Golden Knights on the -1 line, and maybe I don't even have to do that. But I don't want there to be much juice here. Very quickly, Vegas -125. Yeah. I'm going to take Vegas on the -1 line. The Blues have played trash hockey teams. They didn't take over against the Coyotes till late in the second period. This is a rested Vegas Golden Knights team that's just being embarrassed. Clearly, the people who are trying to judge analytics, stats, things like that, are judging them off of 2 games here. And the Blues get into Vegas early. Who knows what the hell they did? So I'm happy I talked this out. I'm adding Vegas -1. All right, we got to go. Jump over to the golf show. God, this was a long one. Thank you guys so much for sticking with us. I love it. I love you guys. Jimmy Gomez says I got Vegas money line and the over 5.5. Look, I don't like going up against Birdie at all. Birdie had a giant night last night, by the way, up 16 units. He's just having a monster season. I think that we can take advantage of what everybody saw, and I don't buy. And look, I said before when we did the breakdowns before with the teams, I think Blues are better than people are giving them credit for. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Again, I'll tweet out the action that I'm adding, and the only thing I bet so far is the 5.5 over in that Bruins game. Swervin, Viper MB, Puzzler 420 Fuego, Dafen, Morgan Spooner, Mike M, Jared, Garrett, Mark, Nick, Rem, Mo, Sean, Sportsbet, Jimmy Gomez, Mike M, Eric Chang, Sox, Bulls, Bears, 2354, Birdie, Slatsy, Mark Schillingberg, Eric Rosas, Mally Mal, all you guys, we have nothing without you. Thank you so much for your support. Big day tomorrow. Our guest is Dutch Boy Fresh. Help us with NFL and NBA. 11-game card in NBA tonight. 4 sports. It's just going to be so much fun. I can't wait. Thank you for rolling with us today and get paid in full. Leche. Hey, those bookmakers!